Okay, whenever you're ready.
We're alive.
He counted us in and everything. Did you not hear? Woof.
Okay, let's do it.
Welcome back to Q Times. My name is Spencer Stark, and today we are playing Icarus. I have some of my very best friends here. We are going to play a dice stacking RPG where we build a world and we watch it fall apart. Let's go around and introduce ourselves, starting with you.
Cool. Hi, I'm Mackenzie. I go by they, them, and I'm here to play some games. I've played this a couple times, and I'm terrible at it every time. So, yeah.
I'm Trevor, and I'm scared.
Go ahead.
I'm Mika, and I'm not scared. I'm ready.
Yeah, you're never scared.
That makes both of us.
Let's kill this society.
So I'm going to give a brief overview of what Icarus is for all of us. You've played it a couple of times. You two haven't played it before. I designed it, so I have a small idea of how it works. Still working on it. No, it's. I'm going to actually read from the book because I feel like it gives the best sort of brief summary of what it is. So Icarus is a collaborative storytelling game about the fall of a great civilization. Every game begins in a city-nation known as Icarus at the height of its power, where in celebration, the city has decided to erect a massive, ever-growing monument in the center of the town to display its prestige to the world. Each of you will choose a pillar of this society to embody and receive a motive for the character you're playing. During the game, you'll be stacking dice to represent the construction of this monument, drawing cards from a story deck to create the escalating events in the city, and influencing the outcome of those events through actions driven by your character's motives. You'll collaboratively discover what it means for a civilization to decay, as they all do with time. And when the monument finally falls, your civilization falls with it, and the game comes to an end. So, we have one die sitting at the center. That die will not normally be there at the beginning. In fact, I'm going to take it away. We will be building... feeling better already. We will be building that monument during the game. But before we do that, we should discuss what the city that we're going to be building is. We sort of decided on one... from the setting suggestions called the Western Haven.
I can tell you one thing. It's called Icarus.
It's called Icarus, right. Every city is called Icarus, fated to disaster. So I'm going to read what the Western Haven prompt is. Just know that you guys we can go whatever direction we want with it. This is just sort of like a nice intro for it. Right. So if we want to like add on to it or like do something that's different from here, we totally can. But this will be a nice base for us all to kind of get on the same page. So, the Western Haven. Positioned at the edge of a monumental canyon, Icarus is the last stop for pioneers traveling west on the railroad. Originally founded as a shantytown for those working construction on a bridge across the ravine, when the project proved too dangerous to continue, the bridge was abandoned, leaving Icarus as their final destination. Soon, with the discovery of gold in the hills to the south, the city went from a temporary shelter to a booming, prosperous society, unlike any other the West has ever known. So, basically, railroad was coming. They couldn't make the pass for whatever reason. I'm sure we'll figure that out. So everybody just got stuck here, and people keep coming into town because they think the railroad's going to continue, and they can't move any further. So this massive city has sort of sprung up at the edge of this canyon.
We're the Debbie Downer of the West.
We're the Debbie Downer of the West, yes. Great, so the first thing that we'll do to sort of build on that is I'm going to shuffle these pillar cards. These are the pillars of our society. I'm going to lay on the table, there are 4 of us. I'm going to lay 5 of them down. We're each going to choose one. There's going to be one left over. So I'm just going to draw them randomly. Let's see what these are. So the first one is communication. The second one is strength. Is there a good place for me? I guess I can put them here, maybe?
Yeah.
Where is that? Oh, yeah, we can see them there.
Yeah.
Agriculture is the second one. Artistic expression. Social structure. And the last one is diplomacy. So, don't worry about the questions that are on there. Just think about the pillars as concepts. Is there anything that jumps out to anybody as something that they're really interested in exploring during our game?
Yes, agriculture's jumping out to me.
Great, I love it. You're going to take agriculture.
Absolutely perfect.
Anything else? Anybody interested in?
I feel like we're in like a standoff right now already.
Draw!
Social structure actually sounds kind of interesting. Let's put these short arms to use.
How about you, Trevor?
I mean, I'm artistic expression.
Go for it. Yep, do it.
If I think you were anything personified, it would be artistic expression.
Okay, I'm going to take diplomacy. And the reason for that is twofold. One is because I think it's interesting to think about the people that are already here, right? In this West that we're creating. And because diplomacy is all about your relations with the people around you, right? So there are obviously indigenous tribes that are here. There are, if that's the way we want to go, we could like set it on Mars if we don't want to get too close to the actual American West. It's up to you guys. But the other reason why is because communication is the one that's left over. And that's going to be the purpose of the tower that we're creating. So we'll discuss kind of what that means and how we'll approach that here in a minute. But just know that the monument that's being built is going to have something to do with communication. Okay, so you'll see on your card, it has 2 questions. It has a strength or a weakness question. All of us are going to answer the strength question, except for one of us. One of us is going to choose to answer the weakness question. Now, answering the weakness question is not necessarily a bad thing in this game. Oftentimes, the person who chooses to have their weakness question answered is the one who sort of gets embroiled in the main story the quickest, because it's the sort of point of, it's sort of the turning point of this city. So why don't you go ahead and read your strength and weakness, and actually we'll go around and read each of the weakness questions, and we can talk about which one we are most interested in. So do you want to start with you, and we'll go
Start with weakness
yeah.
or start with strength?
Start with weakness.
Okay, cool.
Just do the weakness because everybody else will answer the strength.
Yeah. In order to keep people in their place, Icarus has been divided into different social classes. Who's at the top of that social class and who's at the bottom?
Interesting.
Artistic expression has been suppressed or outlawed in Icarus. Why was it banned, and how do artists now hide their work in plain sight?
Mine is hostile nations surround Icarus. Which is the most dangerous and why?
And mine is no commercial food is made or grown within the city of Icarus anymore. So why is this? And what outside source now provides the city's food?
I love the accent. It's
Thank
very
you.
good.
Thank you.
Great. I think for diplomacy, and I want to note that we have an X card on the table. It will sit there all night. If anybody has anything that comes up, this game can get into difficult topics because we're talking about societies falling, and sometimes during the course of that, bad things happen. But if there's something that comes up that you don't feel comfortable with or that you think we should change, you always just reach out and touch it, and we'll pivot to something else. And I think for me, I don't know if I'm super comfortable like going straight into the indigenous sort of conflict, because I am just not of that culture, so I would hate to like comment on it. So if you guys are okay with it, I think I'd prefer to have it be set in like either an alt, like maybe on maybe like an alternate history or like in another planet or something.
Yeah.
What do we think is how do we think we want to pivot that so we aren't talking about something that is that sensitive? Do you have any ideas? I mean, we could do another planet. That's sort of
That's
a simple
the
one.
easiest,
That's
yeah.
the easiest one.
Yeah.
Or we could do
Alternate timeline where, the universe is completely different. Pangea shifted in different ways, so there are different continents.
Yeah.
And
totally.
which essentially is a different planet.
Yeah.
So we'll just go with yours.
So I think maybe
Or it
go
could be
ahead.
like a future timeline where we're all blended together.
We've just gone
sure.
Space Cowboys.
Yeah, where it's basically there were separate cultures, but now they're all kind of the same because we all. I mean,
Congealed.
that's what they say we're going to be like in 2050.
Yeah.
Just like an actual melting pot.
Hoping.
Yeah. So I'm wondering. Yeah. So I'm thinking that maybe we do like a like the West that never was, and do kind of a future. Maybe we add a little bit of like a futurism thing too, where like. You guys ever played Horizon Zero Dawn?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm thinking like it's that kind of thing where like society has crumbled and we're rebuilding back up from there.
Like-
sort of Emberwild.
Yeah, I was literally just
a
about to say.
little bit Emberwild too, where like we're moving across the West in that sense, and there are sort of technological things that we're dealing with as well.
Great.
Just so we remove ourselves a little bit from that
Techno
tragic,
tribes.
techno
boy.
tribes. Okay, so does anybody have a weakness that they feel like is the most important or interesting based on that discussion we just had?
I'm kind of here for the artistic
Yeah.
expression weakness.
I think that's
that one
interesting,
seems
too.
really
I
interesting.
like that one a lot.
Okay, cool. So we'll do that if you're okay with that.
Yes.
Okay.
For answering that question, should I do pitches for it so that we can all get on board?
So-
Because I don't want to pick Footloose. Dancing has been outlawed, and everybody be real mad at me.
We have an X card on the table. So.
That's true.
No, so totally. The weakness is usually something that we talk about.
Great.
But if you want to come up with ideas, in fact, I have the aspect pad. I'm going to pass this around. If everybody wants to grab one of these, and here, I'll pass them to you.
Take them down.
So if you want to go ahead and answer the, everybody else is going to answer the strength question, and then you're going to answer the weakness question. If you just want to think about stuff or write anything down you think might be a good.
Should we double up?
Yeah, maybe we should double up so we don't run on the table. I'll hand everybody a second one. There you go.
So we're writing our.
You're
strength.
writing the answer to your strength question.
I don't know why I put it. I went straight for the bottom instead of just putting it on top like the.
I did
Weird.
the same
They're
thing.
exactly the same? Yeah. No, that's human brains.
Right, because it was the one intended to go on.
Exactly. So it's naturally the one we do.
So glad someone understands me.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
An awkward silence.
I know, this is just, it's going to happen. We're just
It's
going to.
thinking time.
It's thinking time.
I'm really excited for my strength. I was thinking of it earlier, and I laughed to myself.
Wait, what's your, okay, do you want to pitch it while you're writing, or you want to hold on?
Yeah, I'll pitch it.
Okay.
The supply of food within the city is abundant. Why? What do people eat the most here, and why is it so prevalent here? We eat beans. Lima beans, kidney beans, green beans, jumping beans. The soil is rich just for beans. Corn kind of dies out here. Wheat kind of dies out here. But beans? I'm swimming in beans, baby. I am living it. Beans are my blood.
I feel like jumping beans are drugs.
It's so
just
good.
me? Not just me. I feel like just me. Oh boy.
So it's prevalent here because the soil.
The soil is perfect to cultivate beans. Beans of all kinds. But like wheat and corn, they don't thrive as much. You got to be low to the ground. You got to be right there in the soil.
You gotta be a bean whisperer.
You gotta whisper to the beans.
Oh, I whisper to those beans, and they whisper back in ways that some people don't like.
I think you've already built a character we haven't even gotten there yet. I'm here for it. 100%.
So I'm just gonna go.
I think we can all just leave at this
Yeah,
point.
I'll play the game myself. Well,
I'm very excited to dig into your bubbling bean whispers. Just this cauldron of bean.
I make no
Tell me
decisions
more.
by myself. I pull out my beans. I'm like, what should we do?
Consult the beans.
Consult the beans.
If we had the religion pillar, that's definitely what that would be.
Bean check. Anyone need beans before we go? Go forward.
Yes, I need so many beans.
I have diplomacy. Icarus has forged strong relationships with the surrounding civilizations, which is what is the most common export we send to them, and what do we receive in return? I'm tempted to do beans, but I want to vary. I want to vary the aspects a little bit.
You want to build a well-rounded world?
Yeah, no, I'm thinking I want to build a strong
Beanie babies.
A beanie. We just stuff babies full of beans.
Bean bags.
Oh God.
Those would be so squishy, though.
They're real beans. Yeah. Gross. Cooked. Never mind. Refried. Oh God.
Instead of waterbed bean bed.
That's just a bean bed is so good.
You sit on it too long, it starts to get like wet.
Yeah, real
and
mushy.
moist.
and warm.
If you get hungry, you just cut it open, take a scoop.
We just already tackled
We're just gonna X card the whole thing.
The monument is just a giant mound of beans.
Now listen, I'm not here to bean shame, but
Icarus has forged strong relationships with the surrounding civilizations. What is the most common export we send to them, and what do we receive in return? So we have a railroad that's running through to the city. Something that it actually might be something that is outside of the city, but because we have the railroad that comes in, we have access to this thing. And I'm thinking that it is fresh water. Because I think we're in like the middle of a desert, and so fresh water is really hard to come by.
Yeah.
And when the trains come in, either they bring water in tanks, sort of Mad Max style, or there's some sort of, and maybe it's both, but like there's some sort of they're steam powered, so they're like collecting the steam and like making it into fresh water.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but
Sure.
the whole reason the train couldn't get through was because there was a ravine, which was presumably cut by some sort of river.
Oh, sure.
Right? So maybe at the bottom of that, there is a reservoir or like an underground lake or something that we have access to because we're
right, because we're right there. Yeah. I like that a lot. So maybe it's just that we have access to lowering these pails
Just like
down into
elevator
this
system.
Yeah, an elevator system at the cliffs.
We couldn't get across, but we can go down.
But we can, and I think that below the two sides of this canyon, there's just a giant river that runs underneath.
And you can't cross it.
No, it's
Yeah,
too. So it's a giant canyon. We can't get across it. But and I think that there's it talked about not being able to get across. So and because we're setting it sort of futuristic, I think maybe even attempts to like use technology to get across it fail for some reason.
Perhaps there's like
It's
a
like a
weird
magnetic
electrical
field or
magnetic field or something that keeps us from crossing it.
Everybody who doesn't ever come back.
Yeah, but everybody to like if the water is to the north, everybody to the south needs that fresh water, and so we sort of supply that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say fresh water. Most common export is fresh water, and what do we receive in return? Fresh water is brought in.
More beans.
They send us their bean seeds, and we hydrate them.
Instead of brains, you just go bee.
It's the zombies. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do we receive in return? For trading water.
Well, it seems like if we just have a lot of beans, we do need other sources of protein.
Yeah.
Like livestock?
Like
Yeah.
livestock would be nice.
Yeah, I think so. That's great. And we get livestock in return.
Yeah.
Great. Because maybe they grow those out in we're in like a city and they grow those out in the wild country,
Yeah.
Get livestock in return.
I feel like mine will lean in really well with yours because mine is Icarus holds high those who embody what the city most values, what group of people are most respected, and why. And we have the art being the weakness. So it could be that like science and technology have completely overrun like artistic expression to a point of like it's almost taboo to think outside the box. Like everyone has grown up in a system as like, here's the job you're going to do because this is where you were born.
Right. Not only that, but because resources out here are so limited, expending resources on something as frivolous as artistic expression is like frowned upon. And it's like, we don't have the resources to waste.
Yeah.
Right.
We have to live within these like boxes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we will die out here. This is the frontier. We have water, we have beans, we have cattle. That ain't much.
Yeah.
Right.
And you want to paint? Cute.
Yeah. Great. What's your strength?
It's the Icarus holds high those who embody what the city most values. What group of people are most respected and why? Honestly, it's probably like this, like the bean farmers, because that's our highest like source of the bean and like
Food.
the water. Like any sort of like farmers, like the farmers are like the meat and potatoes of the area because they're the ones who make it possible to get what we need to get supplies
To be alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
so I'd
great.
say like the farmers.
So the farmers are at the highest
Yeah.
echelon. That's interesting.
So I've somehow become like the rich kid of the group.
Yeah.
As the bean farmer.
Right. you have caused this to be a thing.
So I've been sitting over here struggling with this.
Sure.
Because I want to make it good. Because all of you guys, it was really good. So going off of what you said, I wonder if artistic expression might also expand into things like advancing research. Like maybe we've gotten to a point in our society that we've become complacent and we're like, well, we don't have the resources to necessarily expand or try to improve this because anything that fails sets us back. And we've now like, we've chipped, what's the word I'm thinking of? We've dug into our like reserves and we only have so many.
Got it. So they're like, just stick to what we know.
Right. And so the subtle ways So why was it banned? It's because we lack the resources to indulge such behavior. And how do they hide their work in plain sight? By making small incremental improvements and decorative touches on things like the sidearm someone might carry. There might be like a decorative swirl on it indicating that somebody has worked on it and enhanced it in some way.
Oh, interesting.
Or like maybe a water
It's
pump.
kind of like a artistic calling card for them improving upon something.
Right. So it's never. It's usually on pieces of like technology or like scientific endeavors, not just like you wouldn't see a cart with it on it unless that cart is souped up with some sweet shocks to make that ride a little bit easier. So it's like there are these vandals just making life incrementally better for people
so
around the
cool.
world.
The most
or around
chaotic
the town.
good nonsense I've ever heard.
It's chaotic good.
I'm into that, yeah. I like that.
That's great. So when you're writing these aspects, and as we get deeper into it, it'll become more natural. But just using like a phrase or one sentence or so as we write more of them, because you'll get they're going to be spread out all over the table, and we're going to have to identify them. So so just know that it could be as simple as like fresh water brought in and get livestock in return.
Yeah, I did
very simple.
Farmers, because they will bring us resources.
Great.
Trevor, what if they also, like, we think our beans are perfect, but they're not seasoned, and you guys have spices and like
Cooking is a form of expression.
Yes,
Yeah.
cooking is a form of
artistic,
advancement.
yeah.
Yes.
And you're like seasoning and MSG and like putting spices into some of the beans.
Spices are illegal.
Yeah. Like, why is this meal so good? I can't eat those other beans anymore. Only these beans. Next meal, these beans aren't as good as last time. What has happened?
Yes.
It's very good.
My beans!
Spices, because they're such a limited resources, are only used by like the rich of the rich.
Yeah, and secretly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
not
because
supposed
of
to have
course. Of course
course
they're
they
doing
want.
back alley deals to
Yeah.
get that good spice.
Gotta get that cumin.
All about that human life. Okay, I'm going to pass out these motives. They're randomly dealt out. These are going to be the motives for our character. You're going to combine this motive with your pillar to create who you're going to play during the game. Oh, look at that.
Get rich. Yeah, baby. Me and my
Amazing.
beans.
I got Bring Down Icarus, so
Oh,
that's going to
boy.
be interesting. You got Preserve the City.
Obviously.
You got Protect the Leaders.
Hey.
So now you're gonna take a minute. I'm gonna hand you two of these again. Go ahead and write down just briefly your character's name, what their occupation is, any other things about them that you think would be important to our story. Don't worry about fleshing them out too much. We will play to see what happens.
I mean, the hardest part of every RPG ever known to mankind.
Is coming with the character?
Yeah,
Is the name?
Is the name.
So I do have a bunch of names in here that I will read out. So let me get to those really quick. Annabelle, Atticus, Beatrice, Billy, Charlotte, Creed, Delia, Desmond, Emily, Frederick, Gwendolyn, Hazel, Isaac, Jesse, Josephina, Lucas, Matilda, Prescott, Rosie, Tobias, Sophie, and Wyatt. Any of those are of interest.
Can it be a nickname?
It could be anything you want. You're making the character. So I have Bring Down Icarus and Diplomacy. So I have to combine those two into something into the character that I'm playing. Which usually when the Bring Down Icarus card comes out, it means that we have like some sort of rebel faction that's forming within the city.
I'm pretty happy with my combination of the two because social structure and protect the leaders.
Yeah, it's pretty
fits.
good. It's pretty good.
Chef kiss.
Okay. Nobody's taken Josephine, right?
Mm-mm.
I took Prescott.
Okay, cool.
I got Hazel, so. Is that a problem?
Nope.
I can change it if you need me to.
I'd be very scared if someone has my name.
Now I'm
It's
scared.
very specific.
Okay.
Is it Beans? You can't just name your character Beans, too.
It's not.
Even Stevens would argue to the contrary.
Oh my god, even Beans would lose his mind.
Case in point, yeah.
I'm suddenly recalling like just a giant bowl of beans. That did happen in Even Stevens, correct? No,
Probably.
I'm sure it did. It's been so long since I've seen that show.
I know, it's
They're
been forever.
bringing Lizzie McGuire back.
I'm so here for that. She also has not aged a
No,
day,
she hasn't aged
so it's
at all.
fine.
Gordo just looks older because he has shorter hair now.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
that's changed.
It's the only thing that dictates the era.
So what else am I supposed to be writing on this?
Just any other like occupation,
Yep.
physical description. If you
Oh,
have
he's
one.
gonna be a big beefy bean boy.
I'm so glad I chose beans.
You started something that's just gonna avalanche down continuously.
Oh, that yeah. Yes. You guys do your stuff. I'm good.
We're just watching you
I'm just
dance.
dancing.
See, I can see
can
the
I look
card,
up
so like that's
bean
my
names?
Please,
Okay,
yes, of
cool.
course.
I'm gonna look up some beans.
We should just go around and
Yes.
name beans.
Oh, refred.
Oh, are these real beans or are we making
Real
up
beans.
Real beans? She named like 9.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah,
just
lima
gonna
beans,
use those.
kidney beans, green beans,
Lima beans.
soybeans,
Soybeans.
jumping beans. That's
This is
the
like-
drug. The drug.
Yeah,
in the
that's
town.
right. This is like we're getting
Pinto
into
bean.
Get some good bean and ham hock soup though. Flat bean.
we're getting into
I mean, black beans are a thing.
Forrest
Yeah,
Gump
black beans are
territory
fine.
here.
Yeah.
Very common. in
Black
Mexico.
beans, black eyed peas,
Is everybody ready to share their characters?
Basically,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
fava beans,
Because they're like flesh.
Beans.
Brett Favre beans, nice.
garbanzo beans. Oh, I have to change my name.
Well, it's a good thing I'm going first. This is the worst. All right. My name is Hazel Clementine. I am the sheriff. I'm 28. I am a man. I have like short black hair. I'm about good like 6'2", rolled nice and muscular. Do not get along with any of y'all. Don't understand the bean thing. I actually hate beans.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
great. Let's jump over to you.
Take me a sec.
I did that just to wound you.
I appreciate it.
All right. Name's Prescott Beanstalk. I'm an engineer. I keep this city running. I keep that water flowing. I keep those trains running on time. And much to the chagrin of those who know me, I tinker in the meantime and try to make incremental improvements around the city. I live on a hefty diet of beans. And that keeps me big and strong. I'm a big beefy bean boy. That's Prescott Beanstalk.
Big beefy bean boy Prescott Beanstalk.
That's one.
I feel like I arrest you a lot.
You can try it. Tink. Who do you think built those handcuffs?
So good.
1,000-yard stare.
I'm playing Josephine Atlas. Josephine is she's a diplomat from inside of Icarus, but she didn't always live here. She's actually from sort of the wildlands and came in as a liaison and ultimately sort of took up with the highest echelon of the city. A lot of the bean farmers were the people that she was speaking with in the beginning, and she sort of befriended them, but she is looking for her father, who was taken by the people of Icarus when Icarus was first starting to develop. He was kidnapped when she was a child and was brought to the city, and she's never forgiven the city for that. And she's looked at the city as a commercial enterprise that is ruining the earth, like ruining the land. And so she sort of made her way into the city, worked her way up to the highest levels, and is now trying to turn people against the city and show them what she's basically an anarchist. She's against the corporations and the corporatization of the resources in the city.
Sometimes I forget how amazingly and how quickly you come up with backstories. I'm like, Hazel Clementine, he's a sheriff. And then you're like, I was kidnapped. I'm like, all right, I'll go.
All I had when I started was Josephine Atlas.
Yeah, he didn't have anything written
I didn't have
down.
anything else written. So, okay, I guess she's a diplomat.
I'm
Oh, are you now
Your
writing down the
brain.
things you just said?
Yeah.
Can I steal your brain?
Not yet.
Well, howdy. My name is Credence Flair, but you can call me Dr. Bonzo Bean, Esquire. I come from a long line of bean farmers here in Icarus. I'm the leading bean farmer here in Icarus, although there are some others that put shame on the name of bean farming.
Because beans are gross.
I will say, my family, long line of bean farmers, when Icarus first started, we were the ones that had most land around here. We were the ones that found out that beans thrived here. And I'm hoping upon hope, that Garbanzo Bean goes down in history as the monopoly of bean farming in Icarus.
Oh, we are not going to get along.
You mean the beanopoly?
Yes. I'm running for mayor. And the first thing I'll do is improve our bean production and also rename Icarus to Beanopoly.
Not Beantown?
Beantown. Do you want to be my second in command, son?
Well, who do you think's giving all those spices? Yeah.
You're grinding the bean at both ends, man.
Oh my god. Alright, I love it.
You can call me Bonzo for short.
Bonzo.
Thank goodness.
Great, so you're going to keep that up on the table with you. That's not going to be an actual aspect that people can play off of. And everybody can hand me their cards back because we no longer need them.
Which ones?
These
Your artistic expression, but you need your motive.
I need my motive. Give me my motive back. How dare you steal my motive from me?
Great, these are going away.
Dissimilar.
So, now that we've sort of built out the very odd world that we're playing in,
Beansville.
I'm gonna cry.
Beantown, we're going to talk about the tower that we're building, the monument we're building. It's to communication. So the purpose of it, we don't answer either of these questions. We just talk about, what is the purpose of the tower in relation to communication. Does anybody have a pitch?
Sorry, I was just thinking
about beans?
I was thinking of Beantown and what I would pitch as the town slogan would be, and it works on several different layers. Come get your fixins, because you fix up stuff. Beans are fixins. You get it. Anyway, I'll shut up for a little bit.
Your first act is to unban spice.
Anybody have an idea of what this tower might be?
Well, I mean, the simplest is like a radio tower.
Mm-hmm.
Because
if it's communication.
Yeah, we're at the end of the line, which means we're the last to get any information if it's coming by horse.
Super true, yeah.
Which means 3 months later, we're finding out that your uncle's dead.
Yeah. Yeah, so some sort of communication. I mean, maybe the technology for that has existed but was lost, and we're trying to piece it back together.
Yeah.
There used to be a tower there, pieces of a tower, and we are sort of putting it back. What's going on?
Run on beans!
It runs on beans. We burn beans for it.
It uses Beanio waves.
No. Hitting the X card. Moving on.
I love we've gotten to a point where you can just see the fact that I have just some stupid joke just brewing in the back of my mind.
I see it. Okay, so we're building we're building a radio tower.
I hate beans.
Radio
I just knew we
tower.
needed one person who hates beans.
Yeah, that
We needed.
The texture just really...
No, I can't do the texture. He's the sheriff, so he doesn't
You don't
break
like
the
warm
rules.
food?
No.
What is it? Is that sweet bean stink? Gets in your nostrils, flares you up, makes them angry?
Absolutely. And beans are bland, they've got no flavor, and they're just mushy.
Yeah.
That's a whole lot of poppycock, son.
I'm a big beefy bean boy. I got weak teeth. Beans are great.
Do you switch it up? You only eat kidney beans, don't you? You look like a kidney bean kid.
I eat no beans.
Well, that
Beans.
explains everything.
Have not passed my lips since I was 5.
What you been chomping on? Dirt?
Steak.
Ugh. Weak teeth.
Your teeth are just beans that you shove
Just shoved up in there. Just garbanzo beans.
I'm gonna cry.
Okay.
And suddenly, I'm very warm. Because I was not anticipating laughing this hard, which was my mistake.
weak bean teeth is now on.
Okay, so we've laid out our world. We're sort of ready to get started here. I'm gonna flip 2 of these cards at the beginning of our story deck. But before I do that, I'm gonna kind of go over how the game functions, how it's actually gonna be played. What's going on over there? Are you okay? Just give me a minute.
I only started laughing because he started laughing.
Oh god.
I'm just having so much fun.
I love how you were like, the weakness is the one that gets integrated in society the most. And then I was like, beans! And then it's suddenly like, that's it. That's all we can talk
That is
about.
the story.
I feel like hold my drink.
Agriculture. Hold my beer.
Yeah. Okay,
my
so
beans.
What was your character's
hold my
name
beans.
again?
Josephine Atlas.
Josephine, thank you.
So the way that the game plays, and you'll see why I'm explaining this before we flip these, is that we're basically gonna go around and we're gonna put die on things that our characters care about that are on the table. So these cards are gonna flip over, and there's gonna be problems that arise in the city, and we're gonna take these die and put them on those problems as our characters see fit. After that is done, we'll pull a card from the deck, and so I'll give an example right now because we're gonna pull out 2 of these in the beginning of the game to sort of seed our world. This one says, what controversial part of the Icarus culture do other surrounding nations not agree with or share? So we will answer that, for our purposes, we will answer that together. But on your turn, when you pull that card, you will think about the answer to it. You will write it on one of these aspects pads and then talk about it, and then place it where it goes on the table. And then the turn will pass to the next person. So we'll start, you know, we'll figure it as we go because it'll depend on what cards come out. But yeah, so basically you're going to be you're going to be putting your die on things you care about. You're going to be pulling cards, answering those cards, creating aspects that reflect the answers, and then passing your turn. Once everybody has gone, that is the end of the story phase, and we'll take a die. Whoever's the first player will take a die, and they will add it to the tower. That is to indicate time passing. Then, once that's happened, there will be die out on different aspects. I'll put them out here just to kind of show you. Once that happens, then we'll return to the first player. So let's say you're the first player. You'll reach out to the die that you put in an aspect. You'll talk about what success looks like, how you would change that thing if you succeed. You'll roll your die, and if it lands on the side with the Icarus pillar, then you've succeeded. If it lands on the blank side, then you haven't. If it lands on the blank side, that means that the problem has escalated because of what you tried to do. Along with that, you'll be writing an aspect or changing an aspect to reflect that change that's happened in the world, and you'll take that die and you'll add it to the tower. Then we will move across the table. If at any point you want to support what somebody's doing, if you want to put your die on the same aspect as somebody else, change it in the same way, you can put your die along with their die on an aspect. When it comes to that person's turn, you will both pick up your die and roll them. If one of them succeeds, then you both have succeeded that thing. But any die that fails still have to be added to the tower. If you want to change it in a different way than that person has indicated, we'll place them on separate sides of the aspect, and we will roll them individually and narrate individually. So that's like if you want to go against that person, you can put your die on the other side, and there'll be conflict. But that's the basic structure of the game. So we flip this one first in sort of the seed phase, right, where we're gonna seed the conflicts in our world. We're gonna answer these as a group. Once you draw a card yourself, you will answer it. You will have last say basically in what that is. You can of course ask for ideas if
They're
you want
my
to.
beans and I want them now.
They're my beans and I want them now.
Do you also want to hand us like a
Called
stack of the
JG
aspect cards? So that
Garbanzo.
way
It's okay, I'm
we
gonna
don't
pass
have to-
this around.
Seven
Okay.
beans now.
Ruined. Just completely ruined.
What controversial part of the Icarus culture do other surrounding nations not agree with or share? Any ideas here? Anything that doesn't have to do with beans.
I think that would be wise.
Is it beans? Were you going to say beans?
Trevor and I immediately just looked at each other and we were like,
Literally, since that question flipped, got beans on the brain.
everyone else around us just like, beans suck.
That's what I'm telling you.
All right, not beans.
Not beans. Something about the culture or something we do here. I think it could have something to do with the railroad that runs through here. I think that it could have to do with some sort of if we are sort of not shanty town, but like if we are importing a lot of things, there's definitely a black market.
It could also be like our hold on the water. They don't agree with that.
Oh, that it should
we're
be
the only
shared.
ones that
Yeah.
can bring the water up and that have
Yeah.
access to it.
I like that a lot.
Yeah,
that
because we
creates
have
an
a
initial
monopoly on
conflict.
the business of
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
fresh water, which feels a little gross, but yeah.
yeah, I like that a lot. Let's write that as an aspect.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, our town is definitely gross.
I mean, absolutely. Beans and water.
Full of beans.
Trash cans are just filled with beans. Like, that's it.
Yeah. I feel like anytime you see somebody like throw beans away, you have like a minor seizure.
Oh, yeah. I eat them. Do I just write
What's your name?
Bonzo beans?
Bonzo.
Don't forget to vote for me.
Yeah.
Dr. Bonzo.
Running for mayor as you're eating beans.
All I write is
It's just what controversial part. So it's
our monopoly on water.
our monopoly of water is controversial among other nations. Okay, the second one is a group is sent out to investigate a strange anomaly just beyond the border of the city. What do they see and who's going to investigate?
I think someone tries to get to like the other side of the ravine.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so there's a strange anomaly across the
That's why
ravine. Across the ravine.
That's like
What
really
if
why
we
nothing
see like a campfire or like some kind of city over there, but it's not all the time.
oh,
Like
interesting.
certain
Like a
points,
ghost
it's
city.
like a mirage kind of thing where
Mm.
we kind of see it and then we don't know if we believe that we saw it because no one's
Yeah.
ever been over there.
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
Hamanoptera
And like
from
anyone
The
that
Mummy,
goes
which we all
doesn't
know.
Yeah.
come back.
Yeah,
Anyone
anybody
that
who tries to
goes
cross doesn't come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
great.
you probably make it to the other city and it's not chock full of beans. And they're like, oh, this is better. This is much better.
Sorry guys, I gotta go.
Oh, I didn't mean to steal yours.
That's okay, no worries. Okay, so it's gonna be we'll call it the Mirage.
Mhm.
The Mirage, a city across the ravine. And a group is sent out to investigate a strange anomaly just beyond the border of the city. What do they see, and who's going to investigate? The Mirage, a city beyond the canyon. And
Brain is broken. I just keep thinking of
beans.
No, absolutely.
That's who's going to investigate. We're sending the beans.
Yeah.
A city beyond the canyon. Who are we sending to investigate? Probably. I mean, there's got to be like a There's got to be like a group that always is trying to go across the ravine, right? There's got to be like a.
I imagine at this point in the society, like going across the ravine, we know to be dangerous and therefore is illegal.
Yeah.
So perhaps there is some form of underground, not necessarily resistance, but like
Ravengers.
okay, they're
Did you
the
say the Raviners?
the Ravengers.
Ravengers.
Oh, that's amazing. I was
like-
also thinking like the Raviners, yeah.
Yeah.
Something along that lines. Or it's essentially like cowboys.
Yeah,
Ravengers.
but like
Scavengers.
maybe
Scavengers.
members of like the standing, not necessarily militia, but peacekeeping force.
Yeah.
And a couple
like-
of them have teamed up with a few like prospectors, and they're like, "There's got to be something
Oh,
out
I love
there."
that they're called the Prospectors.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
it's like
I
the
like the
prospects of
prospectors.
what's beyond.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that, and I think that there also might be a fun aspect of like they think that if there is a city beyond there, that if they get the resources from that city and bring them back,
Mhm.
they're going to be able to make lots of money, like the gold.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Great.
So the prospectors have been sent. The prospectors are not what we would think of as prospectors.
Yeah, it's
They're
probably
like,
something that I'm dealing with
Yeah.
because I'm the sheriff.
are sent.
And I keep having to like stop like kids from going across there to be like, I want to be a prospector. It's like,
Right.
you're gonna die.
Yeah,
Stop.
you're gonna die, and the prospectors do die.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely like those who have journeyed beyond have left us forever.
Mhm.
I'm gonna put that
Probably somewhere over here.
Yeah, probably by you, and also by the water maybe, since
Yeah.
there's the water thing here.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Okay, great.
'Cause I'm doing my best to
where did
stop
yours
it, but I
go?
can't.
Oh, it's right here. Do you want to put
Right,
one?
Yeah,
Like,
so
you
we'll
arrest
put it
those
where
that you
it
find.
makes the
Yeah.
most
But-
sense.
I'm
So
thinking
water
agriculture.
and agriculture. Yeah, it's probably between the two of us.
Yeah.
So
I
I'll
feel
put it
like there's
here.
probably like the access code to like the elevators is like very restricted, but people like try and like hack it and stuff to get down, and like that's how I'm catching these people like who are going.
Oh,
across,
interesting.
and
Who are
I'm like,
going down and they're trying
Yeah.
to swim across the river and then go back up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's crazy.
Mhm.
Great. So we've done that. We have some things that are out. Oh, I need to take this die off here.
Silly kids.
Silly rabbits.
Absolutely, yeah.
Is there anybody who has an issue that's out on the table that knows that it's something they want to address?
I mean, yeah.
You have something? Okay, because you'll become first player.
Cool.
Great.
I mean, obviously the prospectors. Like,
I think that's
literally my biggest concern in that moment.
So I'm going to put this here for you.
Thank you.
And then I'm going to draw a card for you. So you want to pass that along?
Why did I do that?
It's okay. Actually, right now is the best time to be first player because you don't have to stack it. You just set it on the table.
That's why I did this. The cracks in our facade. An existing weakness or problem has started to affect another aspect in the city.
Ooh, okay. So there's your weakness that is the
An existing weakness or problem, yeah. So the prospectors is it doesn't have to be the prospectors though. It can be
any problem that's already on the table is starting to affect another one of the things on the table.
Yeah.
So we can tie any of those together.
I think that the artists are starting to get a little bit more bold, and they're starting to actually put graffiti or art on the walls and stuff like that, and you're seeing people are using beans to make paint and things like that because it dyes things.
Trevor's broken. We've broken Trevor.
Bonzo would absolutely hate that because they're not eating the beans.
What a waste of good beans.
It's a waste
Smearing
of
it on the
resources.
wall.
Yeah, it's a waste
When he gets
of
really
resources.
drunk on fermented beans, you'll catch him in the alleyway trying to lick the graffiti off.
Yeah, it's becoming an actual problem.
Yeah.
Where
Anybody
people
running
are
against
the artists are starting to get more bold and more creative, and they're wanting to express themselves because they've been trampled on. So they're actively starting to do things that are affecting the city.
Yeah.
It's draining the resources.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Let's write it. So now I'm going to hand you a die. You're going to put it on something that you care about. In fact, that might even be the thing that you care about.
I want to change that.
Do you add... this is not your move. This is just what the thing... Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you do your move first, and then you draw the card.
Okay.
And in a...
Did artists become more bold?
Yeah. On a meta level, the reason why is because
Can you put that on there?
Yeah, of course.
a lot of times what would happen is people would make an aspect. If they drew first and then put the die down, they'd make an aspect and then immediately put their die on that thing because that's the natural inclination.
Sure.
And so by reversing that, it created it kept people from
Right.
It also adds a little bit more drama because it's I've already committed to this thing, but that's a really bad thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe
exactly.
next turn I can get to it.
Literally,
Yeah.
I'm now I have 2 issues. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Actually, I have 3 problems that I
Yeah,
immediately
you have 3 things
think,
that are not...
This needs to be stopped.
Yeah, this is a problem for
That's
me
a problem.
too,
That's
so.
a problem. This is a problem.
So you put your
We're on the
die...
same team here.
So I
Hell
need-
yeah, beans for life.
Yeah, cool. And I don't have to put a die down yet.
B4L, yeah.
Yeah.
BFL.
You know, it's right there.
It's just sewn into your chest.
Guys,
Yeah, with a bean
I
tattoo.
promise. They're just beans.
They use bean paste to tattoo it in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so you put yours on that. I think it's pretty
Yes.
straightforward why you did that, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to hand you this.
A citizen attempts to plead their innocence to a serious crime but is found guilty and sentenced. What was the crime? And how are the people of Icarus punished for their wrongdoing?
It's a serious offense.
You get final call here. So
I know.
you make it about whatever your heart desires. I'm not going to stop you.
I'm really fighting internally with Bonzo right now. Bonzo's keep your eyes on the beans.
And a note that during this phase we are oscillating. So when you put your die down, that is something your character wants to change. When you draw the card, that is something you as a storyteller wants to implement
great.
into the game.
Okay, thank you.
It doesn't have to do with your character at all.
Cool.
A serious
My
crime.
face is getting so red because I'm laughing so much.
Well,
It's
we've
all
already
Bean's
said
fault.
that artistry is a crime.
Mm-hmm. Which I
And
think
so
is
is
hilarious.
crossing the ravine.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I mean, you could
But
play...
what if there's someone that is actually taking water and selling it their way? They're kind of
Black market water
black market
distribution.
water, cutting the prices just so they
Are we
can
making
get rich.
black water?
Yes.
No black water?
Darn,
Yes.
they're putting drugs in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, but someone is basically like they went further down the ravine and they're still taking water up.
Yeah.
And they're selling it to neighboring towns.
And undermining
us, and the neighboring towns are like in turn going to them, and we're losing out on profit.
Yeah. That's great.
We're losing out on livestock.
Yeah.
We're not getting getting in our trade.
Yeah.
And like as much as beans are life, guys, you gotta survive on more than beans.
Yeah, you need water.
Well,
Need water, need protein.
there's water on beans. That's what all the wet stuff is.
I'm sure beans have protein, and I'm gonna get yelled at for that, but like it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a nutritionist.
I think that might even be somebody that I've been working with.
Ooh. Yeah, that's
I think
The
that's
wet
somebody
runners.
that I knew. Yeah.
I
The
think
moisture
let's-
farmers?
Let's just stick with Blackwater.
Just like...
Blackwater.
I don't know, I was just trying to bring Luke Skywalker into it. He was a moisture farmer on Tatooine.
Yeah.
Black River.
A little bit of history for
Where
you.
was he going to? He was going to get power converters. That's what
Yep.
it was.
Tashi Station to get
Tashi
power
Station.
converters.
Yeah.
Listen, I love Star Wars, but you know the only thing I care about
Is beans.
Is the lack of beans?
So this would probably
Is
go.
the bean-
Yeah,
is
that
known
would
as Baby
definitely
Yoda.
go
Yes, I see.
like between the two of us.
Yeah.
Do you
Or
see
between
how
the two of these.
You kung fu.
Yeah.
And you're getting rich, so that might even come over to you too, right?
Because I'm the only one that actually makes a profit because no one's undercutting my beans.
Right.
Yeah. Because nobody wants them because they're gross. You shut your mouth!
Patently untrue.
Arrest this man! Wait!
I'm the sheriff. You can't arrest me.
This is a mutiny.
I'll arrest you.
You have a monopoly on crime. Whatever that word is. I don't know.
Monopoly?
Monopoly? Never heard of that before. Anyway, buy my beans. Not their beans. Buy my beans.
I don't buy any beans.
Okay, a citizen was selling water illegally and undercutting the town's profits and livestock. Blackwater. That's great.
This town's going to hell.
Great. I'm gonna put my die on something I care about. Oh my god, there's so many things already, and we're only in the first round. We're so screwed.
No.
Is this not what it's supposed to look like?
No, this is what
Is it not just supposed to be bean
I've
chaos?
played this game so many times. Is the most amount of beans I've ever seen in a game.
This is also like we normally play this for like story building to like
Yeah,
play
yeah.
on another like
Hey.
other system.
We're building a story here.
Well, I mean to like play on another system because this is great for lore builds.
Yeah.
But like so like we normally are like we're like really serious like making sure like this isn't a world that we want to play in on another session and like we're gonna be playing something like Ten Candles or
yeah,
like
yeah.
something super dark and then it's like no we don't have to worry about that here. Beans.
We could
Oh,
just
no.
lean into
I-
the
I am
beans.
gonna make a dread-based system based on the bean.
Oh, nice.
I will play in that so quickly.
I will just straight up run D&D in this setting.
Please let me
Easy.
play
So
Yes,
good.
of course.
I will play in this system.
Hell yes.
Oh, this is gonna be so good.
Okay, on Monopoly,
D&D.
on water is controversial
Not
in
bed and
neighboring
breakfast.
towns. I'm gonna try and break up.
Beans
well,
You're gonna.
this is kind of
Badasses.
doing this,
Yes.
right? I'm gonna try and get this person off. I'm gonna try and get this person to not be punished.
Got it.
Yeah, that's the right
To
words.
free this person.
To free this person.
To get them exonerated.
Yes, exonerate this person. Get them off.
Talk about
An
this.
outside force has come to the city to negotiate
I'm
a
a
deal.
child.
Hey, who are they and what do they want? This feels like it has something to do with this. I think that they're getting.
I'm suffering from giggly bitch syndrome.
Is it contagious?
Yes. The closer in proximity, the faster it spreads.
Let's go. I'm ready.
You suffer from GBS. Call your doctor. An outside force.
Side effect of jumping. You can X-card me at any time.
I'll just barrel roll out. It's fine.
I can't bring myself to do
No,
that.
I get it. I've already done it twice. An outside force has come to the city to negotiate a deal. Who are they and what do they want? Well, okay, so they're being sold water, which means that we aren't getting livestock anymore. So I think they've come to negotiate a
new trade deal?
A new trade deal, and I think that they are. I think they're basically trying to. Here's the deal they're trying to cut. They want to be able to. they want to be able to take water straight from the ravine. They want to be able to create this outside force. I'm going to name them. I'm going to come up with another city that's nearby, and they basically are like, look, either we keep getting our water from, from these guys, or you give us straight access to the river. We pay you a small fee for that, and then you'll also get money for all the people that have to live in the town that are paying, like we'll have people that are coming through to get the water. It's sort of a...
But that's not good because then people are losing jobs.
Right, exactly. So I'm going to call them...
Just as a side note,
Sure.
Phantom Menace started with a trade agreement. Just saying. Just wanted to mention that.
So what you're saying is we're like a mix between Firefly and Star Wars.
And even Steven.
And even
Stevens. And maybe even a little Halloween Town, but it's Halloween Town.
Halloween Town. Oh, God. This place is called Cactus.
What was his name?
From Halloween Town?
Yeah. Balthazar.
It was Balthazar, I believe.
Was it Balthazar?
Mm-hmm.
I believe so. It's a common like fantasy bad guy name.
Yeah. Also like the name of a devil.
Yeah.
I'm
That's why it's
my name.
To Balthazar. I'm actually going to call them cacti. The cacti.
Okay.
They're from a city called Cactus.
Great. Makes
The
sense.
cacti have come. They look
Cacti
like
have come.
cacti.
The cacti have come.
They look like
They look like
They
cacti.
look like cactus,
Yeah, yeah,
cactus
yeah.
people.
Uh-huh.
Oh, they're like an alien race.
Yeah.
cactus people.
Cactus people look like cactus, talk like people. And it explains why they need that water.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it is.
I like it.
I thought
But they don't have to
survives
come
on very
by
little
so
water.
often because
Right.
they can store
Yeah.
water for
Yeah.
longer.
They're very thirsty cacti.
Are they very thirsty?
They're very
Oh
thirsty.
man.
The cacti have struck a deal, or have.
They may be thirsty, but every encounter I've had with them, they're just a bunch of pricks.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, well,
Bye, guys.
Sorry.
I'm so sorry.
we have to burn this house down now.
We'll see ourselves out.
Who has the sage? Jake, do you have the sage? The cacti.
No, but I would love some parsley.
come to negotiate
It's another herb.
a deal.
Gotta season them beans somehow.
Yeah, it's about time.
Parsley.
They basically want
That's
like
why do you
a.
think he doesn't like beans?
They want like a sovereign nation inside of Icarus that's right at the canyon edge, essentially. So they're negotiating a deal for a sovereign nation inside of Icarus.
Like having
Like more than just an embassy. They want to like settle.
Yeah, they're like,
On
hey, we're not gonna give you livestock anymore, or buy water from you anymore unless you let us establish this like sovereign nation inside of Icarus so that we can get the water for ourselves.
That's a big problem.
But they would be creating, like, people would be visiting from Cactus to the sovereign nation inside of Icarus, and so they're like, it would create more tourism, it'd create more...
It'd turn Icarus into a tourist trap.
Exactly, it'd make it more touristy. So I'm going to put that here. That feels like it's probably between all of those.
That's not good.
Plant, man. These little green fellas.
I think, yeah, their skin's sort of tinted a little bit green, and they have like the spikes.
Can we call it the green deal?
The green deal, yes, that's what it is. I hate
very
everything
good.
about this.
It's fine. We're gonna start rolling soon, and then we're gonna hate even more about this.
We're going to completely forget about this, and we're going to hate the dice. The green deal. Jesus.
We'll forget our hate for each other and move on to hate to the dice.
Great, I'm done with that. It moves on to you. Do you want to put a die on something your character
want
wants to
this
change? Okay, I'll take that.
Oh yeah, here you go.
Thanks.
I am so very tempted to just directly oppose you, but
Fair. We as characters directly oppose each other.
that's true.
So you can put it on anything that you want to that your character wants to change. It doesn't need to be like a bad thing that you want to make.
You don't-
Right.
It doesn't have
better.
to be a flip.
No.
It can just be like
It can just be a change.
Yeah.
It's just a modification of the story.
You can also want to like change the the radio tower too.
Yeah, I mean, you could. Yeah, there's any of these aspects that are out, you can put them on.
Even the X card.
Not the X card. It's flipped over to the explanation of the X card. Becomes the O card.
Yeah, I think it makes the most sense if I am working with the artists and am trying to assist them in not getting the severe ramifications that may be coming their way.
You know, jail.
Yeah. You go soft in jail.
So the
Not
way,
enough beans.
so the,
No beans.
the way that'll work is that you're gonna roll the resolve, and you'll be able to narrate. If you succeed, you'll be able to narrate that success, and then it'll come around to you, and you'll be able to change that if they do succeed.
Okay.
I mean, it's likely I won't, so it's fine.
Maybe we can both fail.
Great. So I'm gonna hand you a card. You're gonna answer that. I'm gonna hand you the aspect pad as well.
The rifts between us. A force of nature strikes the city in a single night of terror. What happens, and how does it inhibit one of the city's strengths?
Oh no.
So, our city's strengths are...
Beans.
Beans.
Why would you say that?
Beans and water, and the water's already hurting.
So, I think there is like a lightning storm, but it's a surprisingly like arid night. There's not a lot of rain to accompany it. So when it strikes the edge of one of the bean farms, it ignites it. The farmhouse and all of the beans, and it jumps to a neighboring farm.
Yeah.
So it takes out...
Are you like actually about to cry, Lola?
It's my livelihood. How am I gonna get rich?
You're not. That's the real dream. Beans on fire.
How dare you?
And I think it, like, we still have bean reserves,
Right.
but our next crop has been, like, halved.
Yeah.
Which
and
means
so
us getting
we're gonna
livestock
have to
is even more important.
Yeah.
Maybe if y'all didn't paint with my beans, we would have enough to feed.
Great.
So-
That probably goes.
Yeah.
Over here.
Yeah.
Smoke
Okay.
You got a plan
I'll
for
play
me?
on this.
Sweet.
Great. So we finished the first round. There's plenty on the table. So now what we're gonna do is you're gonna add a die to the tower, just from your reserve of die. So go ahead and add that. Now the nice thing is there's no die there yet, so you get the easy job.
My hands are already shaking.
Now we start with you. You're going to pick up your die off of the aspect and describe what success would look like for your character here.
Success would look like me arresting a bunch of artists
Yeah.
and like just really laying it down hard so it doesn't like escalate. Like you gotta nip that in the butt right away. Like just a bunch of people going to jail immediately and like it's pretty severe fines.
Yeah,
to
making
be,
a
like,
big public statement.
Yeah, like this isn't okay. Especially with the fire, like every resource matters now. Like your art's cute and whatever, but like we need to live.
Yeah, that's great. All right, go ahead and make your roll.
Oh. There we go.
Hey, that's a success.
My
So-
only one I'm gonna have tonight, I promise.
So you don't have to add that to the tower. Go ahead and grab the aspect and add something to reflect the narrative change that you've made.
So artists arrested, public statement made.
Great. Then we jump to you. Do you want to grab the die off of? Oh, your die's over.
Basically, like now making art.
I think my die was on the artist, wasn't it?
No, your die was on.
Wait, instant replay.
I believe it was on.
No, yours was on the... Wasn't yours on the artist and that one was yours? Because this is the one you ended up putting down.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So so this was actually my die.
Yeah.
The
so
Mirage.
the Mirage.
The Mirage.
So you arrest them.
Yeah, I
Right?
arrest. Yeah,
We'll
I
just
arrest,
shift it to
which I feel
to
like
them,
is
yes.
probably more important to
Yeah.
make a big statement about that. And so
Yeah.
like it's definitely like I think instead of it's like people are arrested and like extra security measures are added
Oh
to
yeah,
the
that's
elevators.
great. Yeah.
like patrols, curfew.
So
like,
the prospectors are arrested.
the prospectors are arrested.
Or some of them, yeah.
Yeah, the prospectors are as many prospectors I can catch are arrested, and like security measures are like upgraded.
Yeah, put in place at the canyon.
Yeah.
That's great. All right, go ahead and do that. So what would success look like for you
Success for me would be Bonzo starts to like ration out his beans. So he doesn't want them to be used as graffiti.
here?
And so he starts to ration it out. You can only come and get like a meal's worth or a week's worth.
Yeah.
And you can't come and get any more outside of that because he doesn't want his beans being used
Yeah.
as a form of artistry.
Got it. So he's limiting the number of beans.
Yeah.
Cover this, right?
We could just put it below.
I mean, I think especially
Oh!
in light of what happened with the
Nice!
fire, wanting to start rationing
Oh, yeah.
beans. Even
Yeah.
more. That makes sense.
So you succeed there,
I
so that's
succeeded.
great. So go ahead and create. You want to hand me the aspect pad when you're done with it?
No.
Thank you. So what
Beans-
success look like here?
Beans are rationed.
Yeah, beans are rationed. So there's now a ration on beans put in place by.
No more art.
But you'll have the chance to
Mhm.
make a change there on that. Great. I'm gonna grab my die, which is this guy. A citizen was selling water illegally. So I'm gonna try and get them free.
Yeah, you're gonna be their lawyer essentially.
Yeah, but well, basically, like as a diplomat, I'm going to use the sort of covert leverage that I have within the government to get them to look the other way. Basically, like I'm gonna break them out of the cell and try and fake like I'm gonna see that they're. See that they are taken out and maybe even taken a cactus or one of the neighboring nations.
Now listen here. My cells have top security.
We're gonna
I'm
see-
there right now.
We're gonna see what happens. So yeah, my success here would be getting them out. But I'm not the one breaking them out. I'm just using political leverage to do it.
Nobody
like a
makes
favor.
mockery of my justice system.
But I'm there and I'm just like, I need top security at my bean farms.
Hey!
I need top security.
Mhm.
I need you to get all your deputies and all the kids in town. I want them to watch over my beans. They're being rationed.
Right,
So I'm
that's...
distracting you while
Yep.
he's free.
And so I succeed there, and we break this person out. They go free, and I think that the result is that it is
That new trade route is more...
our monopoly. I think that because my whole thing is to bring down Icarus. So Citizen was selling water illegally and undercutting the town's profits and livestock. I think that this becomes a viable, like more people feel like they can do this. Like it becomes more widespread
Because you don't get in trouble for
because
it.
you don't get in trouble for it. And so, so then we're seeing these encampments that are popping up over and over and over at the canyon's edge, where water is being brought up, and there's just too many.
Yeah, and
for you
I'm
to be
so
able
worried
to-
about the prospectors that I can't. Like,
Exactly.
and like while this is all happening, you just see us going like, "Listen, I can't tell you anymore that I got more important problems to deal with than your stupid beans."
Hazel, I run this town. My family runs this town.
Now listen,
And you work for me.
that's not how this
You
works.
shut your beanhole. You work for me.
I don't have a beanhole. I don't eat beans.
Everyone has a beanhole. God gave them beanholes to put beans in. You work for me.
I don't work for you. I work for the mayor.
Now, why are you talking instead of shoveling beans in your mouth? You want your
Because
ration? You haven't picked up your ration this week.
I don't eat beans.
I'll have someone deliver the ration to your door.
I don't want the beans.
I'll have someone come and cook it for you, too. And they'll sit there and they'll watch you eat it. Because it's good for you.
Why do I suddenly feel like
You're a
crying?
grown man.
Great. Blackwater becomes widespread. This is going away.
I adore you.
This is wonderful. This is so good. Let's jump over to you.
Terror is happening in the city. I'm just
Beanhole
like,
is just mouth now.
Yeah. Oh, good. That's what that. Okay, good.
yeah.
Oh, did you think otherwise? Boy, this
Many ways to
is,
consume beans.
Oh no. A bean enema.
A beanema. So this
Put 'em in your
almost
nose.
stabbed you in the arm.
Put them in your ears.
Put them in your gums. Like,
Put 'em in your gums, yeah.
Listen, I'm
Sorry.
always
like chewing tobacco, just beans sitting up, just loaded for later.
we have like dentists and then beantists, and you're the only customer at the beantist. It's like my cousin, like half cousin.
Failed dentistry school. But
He can't afford like enamel ventures.
No.
He's like, come on over here. I got some kidney beans.
When it
Just
fails,
don't get 'em
you just
wet.
eat it.
what have we done? What is
So I've got
what have
a.
I done to deserve this?
So the beans are rationed, and there's no more art. So I'm trying to. Success for me would mean I would be able to take the artists who I can find and start training them in other ways, like subtle engineering things around town to make those minor improvements. And like, oh, you see a squeaky wheel? It's great art. It's making it a tight, not squeaky wheel. Give it a little WD-40. Get that thing spinning real good.
Put your logo on it.
Yeah, and then you tag it. So like a little bit of graffiti on things that you have already like improved, and that.
Yeah.
So like giving them their own signature and kind of doing that. That would be success for me.
Great, let's roll it.
Let's see what failure happens. So they don't learn good.
So here's the thing about failure in this game. We haven't had one yet, so this is good. When it comes up a miss, it means that the situation escalates.
Mhm.
Now that can mean that you get what you want, or you do what you said you were going to do, but it doesn't go the way that you planned, right?
Yeah.
So just know that that's still a viable outcome.
Yes.
An interesting thing, you can obviously say no to this, but instead of like, they do learn how to like make the arrangements and like fix things, but instead they start like breaking things to then fix them. So like more destruction happens because they're trying to fix things and make them better.
They don't know how to make them better. They just know how to get them back to zero. So they
Yeah.
knock it down. They break it first so that they can fix it.
Yeah.
And put their tag on it.
Yeah.
Is that what
Yeah.
it is?
So it's like, oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's good.
There
Let's
you
do
go.
that.
So there's like a wave of
Wave of vandalism,
There's like
essentially.
vandalism happening. But then they fix it?
Yeah. Yes.
Like somebody came into my house, they
Yeah,
broke
but
everything.
they're not all good at it.
Yeah,
Right,
like
right,
they're
okay,
breaking
yeah.
things, and like and sometimes it's like your car, and they don't know how to fix a car. but
Yeah.
they,
I'm
like-
thinking of like, there's 3 cars. The first one's broken. They break the second one to fix the first. They break the third to fix the second.
Oh,
and then they're
yeah.
like, oh, the third's broken. Break the first to fix the third.
Yeah.
So like a weird broken shell game.
Yeah. It's like a video I saw where he was like, oh no, my aloe vera plant is hurt. And he breaks off a piece of his aloe vera and rubs it on the hurt one. And then he goes, oh no, my aloe vera plant is hurt. And he breaks off another piece of it and rubs it on it.
Oh god.
I think I saw that like last week.
So good, so good.
So they've
Oh, internet.
sort of transitioned away from beans and are now just breaking shit.
Yeah.
does
Disrespect
this
your
go-
surroundings.
Yeah, there. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
I guess
Which is-
beans are still being rationed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is great because now your beans aren't being hurt. So the first lesson
a
was
way.
learned to
No.
then
Mm-mm.
yeah.
Oh, and then this gets
Then
added
you
to
have
the
to
tower.
stack
They're just
that to the
arting
tower.
another
Okay.
way.
yeah.
Be careful. You might.
You
This
might knock
is the
it out.
foundation.
How? What are the rules about stacking?
Okay,
I can
so,
only touch the die. I can
So
only use one hand.
you can only
I can only stand
you
on
can
one leg.
use as you
One
can use
eye
as many
open.
hands as you want, as many hands as you have. You're allowed to use.
Oh, I can use 2 hands.
You have to
You can
throw
use 2
it.
hands, but once you release the die, you can't touch it again.
Oh, that's.
Can I use my hands as
Yes,
support on
absolutely.
the
Yeah.
table?
Like,
The
this
only rule is that once you let go of the die, you cannot touch the die.
this
again.
is the foundational die.
Those does like to dance a little.
They
Mhm.
do.
They do purposefully.
Oh.
When we were playtesting this game, I originally
It's only gonna get
had
worse.
those
It's only gonna
like
get worse.
straight
But
edge
you know
dice, like the
Yeah.
ones
have
that
each
aren't
other.
curved
We do.
like that, and
We do.
we could stack it 37 high. Like it was just like huge.
Oh, the
The straight edge one, and so
Yeah.
we had to be very specific. So even in the directions, it's like you have to use rounded edge dice because
Mhm.
otherwise you'll be stacking forever. Like,
I remember my first game.
Yeah.
We had different sized dice.
Yes,
That was
that was wild because we were at EK. Yeah,
torture.
yeah, it was wild.
We were so scared.
Yeah, they were like
Yeah.
little die and big die and like it was
Die
one
of all
as big
sorts
as
of
a head.
shapes and colors,
Yeah.
and it like oh.
Yeah.
I think we got it pretty
Let's
high.
start
got it pretty
using-
high, though.
Let's start using a D10.
Oh no.
Great. So first player now skips to you.
Okay.
So you're gonna take a die and put it on something your character cares about, wants to change.
There's so much happening.
There's no
That's pretty
contest.
simple. Yep. Smoke beans.
My beans are smoking. A subculture within the community has recently gained political prominence and has begun to actively oppress another group in the city. Who is the new oppressor and who is being oppressed? So can this add on to something else?
Yes,
that's already-
I feel
absolutely.
like the cacti.
I feel like it's the cacti. And they're starting to kind of branch out of where they originally were at,
Yeah.
and they're growing so fast they're like
Taking
a
over.
weed almost.
Oh.
Wow.
Look what you've done. Pass that
My
aspect
brain.
back.
Your brain did a thing, and it was good.
And as for the new oppressors, the cacti, and they're oppressing the Icarus people.
Yeah. Let's choose a specific subset inside of there just to make it more.
The bean farmers, maybe.
I think maybe because
Yeah.
they're like, that's the group that had the most power before,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and so they're now trying to like
To take the power.
Yeah.
Bonzo is he, him, right?
he, him,
Yeah.
Yes.
She, her.
she, her.
He, him.
You.
He, him.
What's your character's name again?
Hazel Clementine.
Hazel
Hazel
Clementine.
Clementine.
Sheriff Hazel Clementine.
That's very good. Yeah, and that's great too because just as the beans started to dwindle, they're now seizing upon the opportunity. I wonder if they're like introducing propaganda and stuff too to to people undermine them.
Because they've seen what other cities are like,
Yeah.
and it's not like Icarus.
No, there's not.
Beans
And
are bland and gross. Here's some
this
interesting
would
tropical
probably
fruit.
go-
Yeah. I mean, it might even go over.
Probably here, actually. Because I have the farmers.
It might even go
farmer's
over this
bean.
though. Citizens have.
Yeah.
Negotiate a deal for sovereign land.
Yeah.
and
So
then
now they've expanded.
grown.
Yeah. So it's just gonna go over there.
The deal was made.
The deal was made, and they're there, and the cacti
They have
are
their own trade route. and
growing
everything.
fast.
So there's
Oh,
three
man.
different trade routes for water now. One, which is ours, which is barely being used.
Yeah.
Then
One for the cacti, and one that's black market.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have the black water, the Icarus water, and the cacti water.
Yeah.
And the cacti are using the Icarus
Yeah.
for their water, right?
Yeah, they're basically set up in a small nation. What would they be called? What would they be called?
The
What's it-
cactus
The
kingdom?
succulents.
The succulent. Yeah,
Succulent,
it's the-
very
yeah,
good.
yeah. The succulents are the small sort of sovereign nation inside of Icarus that's right at the canyon's edge, and they're sort of using that area to bring up water.
The growth.
Yeah. Okay. I want to bring down Icarus. So what do I want to instigate here?
It's so weird to hear you say that so openly.
I know.
I know.
Uh,
I'm so used to having like there's like the trader
the
character.
hidden,
being, like,
yeah. Well, for this game, it's like
Yeah.
we're telling
Yeah,
a story.
no,
so,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, there's
It
so much
makes sense.
like in and out of game.
I like that
Yeah.
the motives are
Open.
shown.
Yeah.
We played it where they're hidden, and it's just a different experience. But as far as like a storytelling
It
game is
doesn't feel.
concerned,
It doesn't feel competitive
right? It's not
at all.
competitive. Yeah,
It's nice.
because Icarus is gonna.
it's gonna
Fall
fall
anyway.
Yeah,
You
it's
don't
always
know
gonna
that.
fall.
We're just here until like 3 a.m. Like
We're here for the next week.
It's like, hey, could you guys bore a hole in the ceiling?
It's
We
like
gotta
we
keep
hit
going.
Christmas and it's like
Still going. Okay, I think that I
okay.
want.
I got no plans.
I think that
we
I'm.
transport the table to.
The New Year's.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna oppose you on this. I think I'm gonna try.
Oh,
and,
I've never seen a more betrayed look.
I think I'm gonna try and.
Burn more beans.
Listen, you're.
I think I'm gonna try and
My goal is to
instigate
protect you.
some more bean burning because we saw how effective that was, and
Making a
the
rebel
the
bean burning
cacti.
faction.
I think you know what? I think that I came from. I was originally one of the cacti, like so. That's like my lineage,
Mhm.
and
Don't
so
you-
them coming in.
Don't they look different?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, okay.
But I do look different. I originally
Okay,
came
got
from
it.
outside the city.
Yeah, yeah.
And came in as a diplomat and, was
trusted
sort of
you.
adopted, and now I'm sort
we
of
trusted you.
Yeah.
We were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. You were supposed to be the best of us.
So I think I'm I'm sort of fanning those flames, as they say.
You're flaming? Flames
I'm
on the
flaming
side of
those
my face?
fans. flames on the side of my face. A valuable resource used commonly within the community is now gone completely. So I think that succeeded. What is it, and what is it used for, and what are citizens doing to get the rest of their hands?
I'm gonna...
How am I
Sorry.
gonna get motif?
My boy needs teeth!
What is it? What is it used for, and what are citizens doing to get their hands on the last of it?
I wish I could reach across the table to console you, but you're so far away.
So, actually, here's what I think is that the obvious go is the beans.
Sure.
I think it's more interesting to me if the river is dammed.
I was about to say,
because now everybody's been competing for this water, and now suddenly we're out of
And it still kind of gets the beans.
right because
Yeah.
they need to be watered.
In the end.
what if
And
like
so-
it just dries up suddenly?
Yeah, like there's a dry up in the river, and maybe it's dammed up upriver. We don't know, but all of a
Maybe
sudden that
the
giant
mirage.
ravine. Yeah, maybe something with the mirage that's beyond the canyon. Like we just don't know.
I'm
But
reading about Icarus the whole time.
so what is it? The water, the river goes dry. What was it used for? We know what it was used for. What are citizens doing to get their hands on the last of it?
You were so scared.
I'm so stressed out for our little town.
I think that
I can see the cacti just over engorging themselves on it because
Yeah.
they can store it.
oh yeah, they can store it inside their bodies. That's so true. So I think that they're actually people are.
People are slaughtering the cacti and they're drinking.
I
Like
think
Mad Max.
yeah.
Oh my god.
So I think there's definitely. I think that there's definitely that happening. I want to propose.
Terrifying.
I want to propose an idea that goes along with that, or maybe is in tandem with that, which is that cacti are being murdered for the water inside of them, but also that there are more and more people that are now moving into the ravine. Like they're not because there's now land there.
Okay.
So now they're rappelling down in the night and they're making camp down there because they can get sort of the last of the, there's still a little bit of water
mud
down
water.
there. The mud water. So they're going after the mud water.
are
So
starting to try and get
cacti, yeah.
daring.
So
Mud
cacti.
people. We call them mud people.
More
now.
people are moving in.
Oh yeah,
more
the
cacti
mud
are
people. I
moving
love
in.
that. Are being
More cacti moving in, more resources being drained.
Yep.
murdered.
It's like Mad Max Fury Road when they push off the Imperator.
Yep, exactly.
Definitely that.
And
Yeah.
then they eat him
Uh-huh.
because he has a lot of water.
He's got a lot of
content.
water.
I mean,
Really cool.
Cacti are being murdered, and mud people
Couldn't
are
tell you.
moving in.
Yeah.
Great.
It's simple knowledge.
Simple.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is definitely going. Citizens growing. There's the water here.
I feel like probably somewhere
I
there.
feel like it's like here.
Yeah.
Maybe like
I don't want to scare you even more, but if you are stranded in the desert, you can drink snake blood to stay hydrated if you don't have water.
Interesting. That's kind of cool.
Gross.
So
I,
if you ever
I
Extra
learned
gross.
I learned many survival tools when I went to summer camp.
I thought you were
For
going to say
many years.
Beantown.
Yeah. I went to
Beantown,
Beantown
town of
every
many
summer for 10
things.
years. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. Let's jump over to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all those prospectors were arrested,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
but now it seems like we might need some prospectors to help us sort out where their water supply might have been diverted to, or if it did just literally dry up.
Mm-hmm.
They are the explorers, and they are the people who I think could help us out of this jam. So that is where I'm diverting my.
I
We're
love
also able to cross the ravine now.
Yeah.
Theoretically, yeah.
Yeah.
We have to
Yeah.
crawl up the other side.
We
So
just don't know what's
I guess if
going
I were
on
to say that in
over
character, it'd be
Hey, we're gonna need some of them there explore boys. Go up and see what's on the other side of that can. Yes? Alright, I'll go to that.
What
You need
what-
some new teeth, boy. You're
We're out.
slurring.
Well, as it turns out, when you ration things and all the beans get burnt up, ain't a lot left for teeth.
You just gotta come to me, boy. You know I'll take care of you.
Oh, okay.
You're like a son to me.
I like that you're like the same age or older.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh no, it's
very
perfect.
good. It's very good. Okay, I'm gonna hand you this.
I'm so nervous.
So this is. So this says the rifts between us. An outside force tries to invade the city. Who are they? What is the purpose of the invasion, and what's their plan?
The Mirage.
I think this is the perfect time. If the ravine is open,
What if the Mirage dammed the water so that they could come across? Because they'd also seen us.
Like, what if they're called
yeah.
like the Shades?
Yeah. Oh, the shades is very good.
can we do something
They only
like
come
the
at
shimmer?
The shimmer is very
Ooh,
good.
yeah. And they're like,
You can't really like get a bead on what they look like because they keep shifting.
Oh, they're like a
in front of you.
mirage. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's so cool.
Like the
And
Skinner
their town
Darkly
has
suits,
always been
but
there.
a
It's
little bit
just
shinier?
hard to get
And, like,
a lock on.
very like those creatures in Doctor Who. Like every time you talk to them, like every time you walk away, you're kind of like, did I just?
What are they?
What was
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
I wonder too if there's some kind of AI projection in some way. So like when we see them, they're sort of like a hologrammy kind of thing,
Mhm.
and they have a
Some sort of memory manipulation.
yeah, and that's why they couldn't cross the water. Maybe is because they were like electronic.
And yeah, electronic and like semi-intangible.
Yeah.
Okay, so they cross the water. Why are they
Or-
invading?
They damned the water.
Or they dammed the water. What is the purpose of their invasion, and what is their plan? Why are they coming over here? What do we have something that they need? Ooh, we're building a radio tower.
We are.
And maybe it's possible that they could transmit themselves long
Oh,
distances
yeah.
using that, just catapulting
They
themselves
want
across
that
the country.
radio tower.
The radio tower is where it's at. They want our radio tower.
That's real
got very
good.
excited.
So good. That's why we play this game.
This isn't scripted. By
but
the
it
way.
should be.
I don't have that kind of memory.
This is not scripted at all.
For some reason, I feel like it's more scripted now that you said that.
Fade to black.
I can do that.
Oh no. Now it says walk off stage right. Okay.
Yeah. Dramatically tumble away. Seems in character. Very Draco Malfoy.
Damn it, mine smudged.
What is their plan?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess we'll have to keep rolling to find out.
Well, it's on the card.
I mean,
oh.
I
I
think-
be all weird and ominous. And then...
like they're taking our water. Our beans are burnt. They are digital or electronic of some kind.
Yeah.
They probably don't need the same sort of sustenance we do.
Yeah.
They might just try to starve us out.
They're just gonna wait us out. Yeah.
Or they're like, because like they have that like memory manipulation. What if they're trying to like divert people's more attention to the radio tower to like
What if
make it
they
more
were
of
the
a
ones that
priority?
lightning
Yeah.
bolted my beans?
Oh.
Uh-huh.
I'll take this.
I don't think this is gonna happen.
Well, you could
Unless I
partner with
sell
them.
myself to the shimmer.
I mean,
I mean, yeah.
I
My whole goal is to protect the leaders.
love that
Which
you just
leaders?
gave yourself such a reason to hate them.
I know.
They took my beans.
So this
probably goes here.
Yeah.
yes.
Wow.
Try this out.
Well,
Cool. I'm
so scared for our little cat.
I have so
we're
many.
only at 2 dice. Too.
So much bad has happened.
I love Beantown too much.
Well, I mean, like most of us succeeded our rolls last
Yeah.
round, which is very
It's
rare.
very rare.
We could get to 4 and it will topple. Who knows?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No.
As you go like that, and
Yeah.
it falls. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I have so many things that I need to change and I am so scared about. Like, just specifically, like, protect the leaders and
Oh,
as
yeah.
the sheriff, I'm like, I'm gonna go with the shimmer. Like, the
Yeah.
shimmer feels like the most, like, big threat right now.
Yeah.
So now I roll this.
I need a thing, though.
Oh yeah, not yet.
Right. Okay.
I get to add danger.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Not my beans, please.
The environment surrounding Icarus has become damaged or sick in some way. It's a bad year for beans. But we'll survive. Come back. Beans are a hardy stock. What has caused this environmental degradation, and how has a specific part of the city been adversely affected by it? I think with the shimmer coming in, it's creating like there was like those electrical storms or like the weird like things that were happening over in Icarus or over by the Mirage, which is why we couldn't see what was going on there. Maybe that's spreading and like it's suffocating out the crops even faster.
Like how we've created like an unbeatable villain.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So it's an electrical storm?
Well, we were saying it was like some sort of storm that was happening over
It
on the
was
other side.
the electrical
like
the electrical
sandstorm
Right,
thing.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
Or it was
That's
something
cool.
like they're bringing over some sort of environmental like
Maybe they're bringing with them that like static
This
electricity that
static
is-
storm.
Yeah, it's like a static storm, and it's making all of the. It's like
Static shock.
yeah, it's like strong enough that it's sort of frying some of the plants or something.
It's caused
Or it's yeah.
the environment is being damaged.
Yeah.
And it's causing a
What would
specific.
that be?
What if the cacti are so rich in water, and electricity does not do well with water? What if like people like cacti are literally like getting fried by the static storm?
Yeah.
And then the cacti goo just like seeps into the ground,
Yeah.
and it just starts growing out like spines and makes the like
Oh yeah.
Little baby cacti.
little baby cacti spines. And so,
So,
just
like,
like
in the-
like astroturf, but dangerous.
Yeah.
So in like the beginning, yeah. So maybe the cacti, the way that they develop is they have to mature,
Mhm.
and then once they're mature enough, then they can like pull themselves from the ground.
And they're pulling nutrients from the earth
Yeah,
by-
yeah.
to grow.
Yeah, exactly. And so they're so when they so they have this cycle, and so after
So,
they've sort
yeah.
of died, they're now creating these
Like pods.
pods
It's
of
like Groot.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
a group. Yeah, like spines and
Mhm.
and there's just like dangerous areas in the city
So
now.
the
because-
static spreads kills the cacti.
Well, the entire area that the cacti has grown is now just like uninhabitable.
yeah,
Because it's just full
it's
of
just
spines.
yeah, it's all
Dangerville, right on the edge of Beantown. Okay, it was getting too serious and scary for me.
I'll give you that.
I've already got this stuff.
Wait, but you have to add the tower in the first player.
Potentially.
I just add it, right?
Yeah, you just added the tower. So at the end of this
yeah,
round,
that's right.
at the end of the story phase, we added the tower.
Scared. So I said the static storm spreads, kills cacti, makes area.
Immediately regretting your decision.
That's
Yeah, 'cause looking at it-
leaned.
Well, yeah, it's leaning
That's
in
okay, it's
every
leaning this
direction.
way.
It's leaning just like whonk.
That's okay. We'll just have to put the next one on the other side.
So yeah, the
Thematically appropriate tagging
Yeah.
is going on.
So the static storm spreads, kills cacti, makes area desolate.
Okay, great. I think that's gonna go over here by the cacti.
Yeah, for sure.
And now I roll my beans.
Yeah. You roll your beans. So what's success look like here
Success
for you and your beans?
for me, the smoked beans.
It becomes a new crop.
Yeah, it basically becomes a new food. It's like
Interesting.
the next step of cooking them. They taste more woodsy or like.
So you're trying to
smoky.
market.
I'm trying to market it and keep my business alive.
Okay, I love it. Go and roll for me.
My
Maybe,
forefathers.
maybe don't like just slam your fist on the table.
Yeah, she avoided.
Oh, no.
So
No.
that can happen, but how does it make things worse?
I'm trying to convince everyone to eat it, and they trust me because I'm their bean guy.
Yeah.
I'm their bean guy. They know me. I haven't led them wrong yet, but it makes everyone incredibly sick.
Oh no.
And I don't eat beans.
My mouth feels funny. It tingles, and I've thrown up a lot today. I have to keep replacing them because they fall out. It's not a good look.
God.
This is a lot.
It's a lot.
Could I add on that I'm starting to basically hoard all of the like good beans?
Yeah, totally.
No one else can have them.
Yeah.
I'm just keeping them for myself.
Yeah.
And you.
For your teeth.
Yeah.
Great. So I'm gonna roll. You failed that, so I'm trying to figure out what my success here. I think is that I'm able to keep under wraps that like I think I'm coming to you, and I think that I'm trying to still play the diplomat card, and be like Look, Dr. Who is it? Garbage?
Dr.
Garbage?
Bonzo
Dr. Garbage Beans? Dr. Garbage Beans, look, I just want to... There's a...
You're really going to come in here and spill your beans like that? You're going to spill your beans on my sacred bean house.
Even I know not to do that.
You come to the altar of the bean man.
Oh no!
Why'd you have to spill your beans?
Look, all I'm saying is that there's a deal we can make here. See, the people of Icarus, they don't need to know that this is where the sickness came from. See, we can hide this.
The sickness didn't come from my beans.
Now you're catching on. See, we can deny it. We deny. And people won't ever know.
Deny what?
Are you...
Exactly.
Wait, I have a question for... Are you actually ignorant of what's happening? Or do you need me to explain? Or
Do you want to try some smoked beans? They get my tummy a little rumbly. But I make room for more beans real
I'm gonna
fast.
roll and see what happens here.
When he came in, did you offer him a seat in your beanbag chair?
Yeah.
Politely declined.
Well, how about my beanbag couch?
That's a success.
Hey, that's not
So-
good.
What about my water beanbag?
Like I'm equally thrilled and very upset.
I'm just laying on
Sound
my
effect wasn't
beanbag.
necessary.
Oh God, so gross. On your pinto, your refried bean bag.
Take a jelly bean on your way out.
Ooh, I actually could go for some jelly beans.
They're
So
not the jelly you think.
this is full of jelly.
I emptied.
Like a bean-based jelly paste. You just put it.
I emptied the paste of the bean out and then I injected it back in.
Gross. That's so gross.
And now I'm sad.
Oh, you need to stack that on the top
Oh, because I failed.
because you failed.
Oh, damn it.
Well, I write this aspect, which is
So you want to put it more this way because it's like curling.
I believe in you.
Oh,
what did you?
It made it worse. Oh God! Oh no!
Oh my God. Okay, so
It looks like the little like cactus from Mario Maker.
I mean,
it's
an
oddly
invading
appropriate.
force and everyone getting sick
Look at it on
and
camera.
a large portion of the population.
Oh no!
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
that looks terrible.
People.
I'm so sorry. As some like this is
I didn't. I thought it was bad, but that's terrible. This is the worst.
we're sitting here being like we got this. Like it's a
can
little
see.
off. We can say. I'm
The
so
camera really
sorry.
shows our flaws.
It really
People
does.
don't. The camera adds 10 pounds, and it makes our tower look worse.
I mean, yeah,
people
boy howdy.
Don't know the beans are making.
I haven't even put one on other than the top one, which I'm gonna have to put one on now because I said that. And I feel ashamed.
So the people don't know that beans
It
are
would
making.
narratively make sense.
Oh yeah.
Narratively, for sure. Yeah.
That the beans are making people sick,
I'm just trying to help, and like everything's going to hell around me.
and so they're eating more beans in hopes that it cures whatever ailment they have.
Oh no!
And so
It's a magical fruit.
So
I'm selling it like how people sell beer.
Yes.
Where they're like, you just gotta get used to the taste.
Yeah.
Trust me, like your brownie will
Are
get
you
used to it.
fermenting beans and making bean beer?
Oh, absolutely.
I was
Yeah.
gonna try and combine it, but then I realized it's just beer. If you
Yeah, it's still like
Still
I
just
don't.
beer?
I
It's-
don't like it.
It's yeah. So I think that may actually be a benefit to you.
Yeah.
But no, you're making more money off that for sure. 'cause
Yeah.
you have
I'm
a,
hiking up the price of smoked beans, but I'm
You're
keeping
having
all
a-
the non-smoked ones for
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
so your tummy's fine.
Oh yeah.
So
Well-
because I don't eat the beans.
I pretend to throw up around everyone else.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, great. Let's jump to you
Okay, and I am working with the prospectors.
to try and.
To try and figure
Well,
out
now they've is
Right.
it the glimmer, the shimmer.
The
The
shimmer.
shimmer have shown up, so I'm working with the prospectors to find, still looking for the source of it and
Oh,
to see
right.
if they can remedy
Yeah.
Looking for a way
Oh
of-
man,
damming of the water.
Because if you can undam that water,
then the shimmer might not be able to make it back across.
Yeah.
Or they'll
Or
be
it
stuck
might
for-
just
or-
cut their connection. Or
Right.
something.
Yeah.
So we're not sure, but
Perhaps there's some property
see.
of water that like
You better
messes
make
with
this
their
because that tower's
radio.
not looking.
Nope.
That was very bold.
It would have been great if that was such a hard throw that the tower fell.
I was
terrible.
expecting it to honestly like just hit,
Hit
the,
the
tower.
tower,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so
So what is
So-
do I put this on first?
No, you
or-
describe first.
Okay, so oh man, I
Does
think
Prescott go missing?
no.
No, Prescott's fine. He's doing all the work from behind the scenes, letting them do what's good.
I think they go missing for like a day or two, and when they come back, they have suffered severe, irreparable damage as like a warning from the Shimmer.
Oh
Like
man.
to like you don't
Stop.
like
Yeah.
you go that way. Only death awaits you,
Yeah.
and so they come back and they're like
Maybe
scarred,
one
electrocuted
person
from the
comes
inside.
back.
Yeah, and like their eyes are just constantly flashing different like images on the outside of their irises. Like,
Like they've been hacked.
yeah,
People are glitching.
Yeah, people are glitching. It's the glitch.
True. Add that dice to the tower, Trevor.
Oh my god, it looks so bad.
I can't. Here's the thing. There's a light in the way, so I can't see how bad it
Good.
is, and I'm sort of
Good.
happy being oblivious.
You should be.
Oh, you're gonna show me? Thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks so much. Oh yeah, no, it looks awful.
So
It looks very bad.
Perhaps we should
that's
be
gonna
like.
go there.
Is there a way we could like add from there so we can get like a nice like straight shot from like to see what's going on instead of like because we're all coming at it from different angles.
no.
Good, I believe in you.
Can't even see it with my hand in the way like this. Now I'm laughing. Okay.
Breathe out. As you do it, breathe out.
Oh, that's so bad. Oh no!
Crushed it.
Nailed it. All right, on to you.
I'm so sorry. I really tried my best, and it's just bad. I'm just bad at stacking dice, I guess.
It's so.
It's like
so
half
good.
on.
It's so
it's like-
good.
Super wonky.
I
It's
love
like-
it. Hold
it's
on,
like-
take a picture.
I did a bit-
Maybe 2/3.
I
of the
like
way
it. I
on.
tapped the top of the tower and then scared myself and backed off.
Okay, well I guess what
Why am I so nervous?
we're only at 5.
I know. All right, it's on to you.
So what success looks like for me because I'm trying to deal with these shimmers.
Oh yeah. As the sheriff, that makes sense.
Yeah, like these shimmers gotta go. And so like I'm seeing like
You just look so disappointed.
I am. You know what? I could have done better, and that's on me.
And they're just
Hey, but
extremely
at
excited.
least you're aware.
that's my entire personality is extremely
Yeah.
excited, so that checks out.
You got this. What's
got
success?
it.
What's
You got it.
success?
What's
for you?
success look like? 'Cause you're gonna
I
roll
think
success.
Success looks like Hazel is like just tired of this. Like he's seen everybody getting sick around him. People are glitching. Like he knows what the problem is, so he
Yeah.
knows that he's gonna go fix it. So he's installing like a curfew and like really trying to like snuff out like he notices that like they only come out a certain time. So like he's like just been watching. So he's like they only come out from dusk to dawn. So like once the sun goes down, you guys go to bed. Like they can't get us and they can't starve us out if we are like on top of them.
So implementing a curfew and locking down Icarus,
Yeah,
kind
and
of.
then essentially like
Putting everyone
killing
on, like,
any
intermittent fasting.
intermittent fasting, like
Oh, yeah.
checking like
It's also healthy, so
yeah.
new diet fan. That's success. That's success.
I'm only enjoying this because this never happens.
You can also just enjoy being
Yeah, you can
successful.
also just
That's just
enjoy it.
allowed.
You could have been like,
You don't have to
Hazel
justify
comes
it.
out guns blazing, kills all the shimmer.
Yeah, like no, he like I think what happens is the curfew was working and like he catches a shimmer and like captures it.
Oh, okay, cool. We have one. Like,
yeah, we have one and like it's in my jail cell.
I love it. Yeah, that's great.
It's turning into like X-Men Days of Future Past. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
we've captured Quicksilver.
Institute.
But it's in like an old saloon style or old like
curfew.
old West style jail. That's so good.
I captured the glitch monster.
Yeah. Is that
Shimmer
the hat pulled over his head?
alive.
We're just shoveling beans into their mouth.
Okay.
One of us.
So I feel like I should probably go here.
Yeah,
I don't think it
replaces
replaces
it. No.
but I think it adds on, and it kind of. I think actually it goes like right here
Sure.
because it's leaning towards like.
Yeah. Make sure you take that die back and put it in your pool.
Get that away from that tower.
Town, you get the beans. I'm like unhinged.
I
at
know.
this point.
You
are talking to
I
the
don't
beans.
know.
You do eat beans out of the trash.
This is a
speak-
well-established
Very
fact.
early on.
Yeah.
We also established that you talk to the beans.
Yeah.
So like this is not.
I have a
new.
mural of my father and my grandfather who like ran the bean
You have a
establishment
mural?
made of beans. I used the different colored beans to like make it look nice.
Yeah.
But
I've actually seen those.
That's
yeah, those
that's
are-
I
like
like
Those are
kneel
super
in front of it
illegal.
every night, and I'm like, Father, tell me what to do.
And it's like
What should I
hidden
do?
in like a shrine room that nobody can get into because
Yeah.
art is illegal.
Oh right.
You have to like pick up a certain amount of beans.
Bean books.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's like there's like a scale. and
It's
you have
like
to,
a scale,
weight
and
it.
I have to be like
You
500
have to know
beans.
exactly how many beans go on the scale to keep it
A bean
like,
counter,
even.
A
yeah.
bean counter. Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's great. All right, I'm
What
gonna
do
put
you
this
care
die on
about?
something. I'm not. I have no idea.
The shimmer might be like something that you really care about.
I
right
really,
now.
yeah, I really,
'Cause I feel like if anyone's gonna side with the shimmer,
I really
want to
get in with the shimmer and find out who I should talk to over there. I'm gonna try and get some time with the shimmer to.
over my dead body.
I know we keep being in conflict. I'm gonna try and figure out who the head of this organization is, and I'm gonna try and, under the cover of being the diplomat, go and speak to them. But I'm basically going to like figure out how to get more of them into the city. How to like
Talk
So,
to these people.
anyway. It's my
You
job.
tell them to get.
Oh, this is my job.
Draw that card.
Great. I'm gonna
Add
draw a
more
card.
to the problem.
Add more to the problem. Let's see. The culture of Icarus has changed. What are people doing now that they weren't before, and how is it impacting the city?
Dying.
Dying.
Throwing up.
Not eating beans.
Is throwing up the culture now? Is that the culture of
Losing
Icarus
an
has
insane
changed.
amount of weight.
Oh no.
Okay. What are people doing now that they weren't before, and how is it impacting the city? I think that because the city's now on lockdown, they don't allow the railroad to come through anymore, and so
Full on like.
yeah.
Especially because we're rationing beans.
Exactly.
And we don't have
And
a lot of
if
water.
we have more people coming in, it's just going to
Right.
cause
Yeah,
problems.
we full on
So-
isolated.
So this place that used to be like the
Booming.
that used to be a boom. There used to be a boom town. Is now
Beantown.
Beantown. Boomtown to Beantown. That's my memoir as Josephine Atlas.
And then my memoir is actually Beantown to Boomtown.
Yeah. And mine
Mine
is
is. Oh, go ahead.
why are there so many goddamn beans?
Beans for teeth.
Not the best.
It's
But they
just
work.
one page, and it's just that
Oh no.
Title
sorry.
says it all. Thank you for buying the book.
So sorry. One bean too many.
one beat. Oh, too many. The culture is okay. So yeah,
The tipping point of Icarus.
Swimming in beans. Drowning in beans.
the
Are you just Scrooge McDuck but with beans?
Absolutely.
I have a swimming pool in my backyard. It's just beans.
Now here's the question: are they like pinto beans, or are they like refried beans?
They're fava beans.
What are
So
fava
they,
beans?
they feel a little fleshy.
Gross. X card. Knock over the tower.
I purposely didn't
not even
touch
cooked.
anything.
It wobbled and I got scared.
They're preserved beans in water. So they're not like cooking. And they still make like a hard like sound.
So there is water in this swimming pool. It just also has an egregious abundance of beans.
Like I feel like
There's
texturally
enough
that
water.
might honestly all feel kind of cool, but like I hate it.
There's enough water that you can move freely in the beans without it like impeding your movement.
Sure, so you can swim laps and it's fine.
Yeah.
It's like
And if you
it's
get hungry, you just open.
Yeah,
Open up your
open,
mouth.
crunch 'em.
Hungry or thirsty.
like-
Or
it's
thirsty.
like some sort of new Western, like Eastern medicine thing?
yeah.
If you
Foreign
lay
medicine.
on your back, you can float and get a nice tan.
It's like a Dead Sea. The
Like
railroad.
it's like a spotted
It's nice and
tan,
salty.
And the water never gets too hot because the beans are protecting them. Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. The railroad has been cut off, and Icarus has become isolationist. I'm going to put that next to probably diplomacy, because that feels like it's something to do with our
Does my house
relations.
look like the Boston Bean statue?
Yes.
No. no, it cannot. Yes, of course it can.
Boston baked
Great,
beans.
that's my turn. Pass it on to you.
Okay.
What do you care about?
Given all this invasion stuff and
Oh no, I'm gonna have to put a die on.
So I guess I have a question.
Yes.
I was thinking I would go to the radio tower and try to convert
This
it
is
so
your
that the shimmer couldn't use it. But we don't necessarily know that was their objective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not yet.
So
But
You could
you
call
could
for help or use it for yourself.
Yeah, or you could interrogate the person to try and find out what they're trying to do. We could interrogate them together.
let's do that.
Okay.
Boy, howdy.
We're
there's
both
gonna
trying to
be-
get different information.
Yeah.
But we're going in together.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
There's gonna be a lot of people on that aspect.
No. Only 3.
I
I got other objectives.
Still, 3 of 4 is a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. I'm gonna hand you a card.
It's like
It's a C.
Actually.
The final hours. Another city has risen up to rival Icarus in the region,
we know who that is.
and
Oh, it could be
citizens
somebody
are
else.
leaving to live there instead. So citizens are fleeing from Icarus to go to the Mirage and see what better life they might find there. What city is it? The Mirage. And what specific resource or technology does it have that Icarus doesn't? They're just downloading people? They're digitizing people like files?
And then you
they're
don't have to
turning
eat,
into
you don't have to drink,
shimmers.
you don't age.
Shimmer conversion therapy.
Ooh, I hate it.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Gross.
It's a
I
terrible
hate it.
place.
I hate it.
But you live forever.
I hate it.
Yeah.
But you
And I
can't
guess
eat
if
any
you live
more
forever-
beans.
So where's the sign-up list?
The more you're talking, the more I'm getting on board.
You keep talking.
You say no more beans.
No more beans. It's going there.
Shimmer convert. Yeah.
So we get that scene, right, of like all of the people cascading down the side of Icarus.
Right.
Like,
And so
Flee-
they've like built a way up that's like super easy to get.
Yeah.
through,
Yeah,
too.
because now that the water's not there, they can go down and then just climb up the other side and
yeah.
venture into the Mirage, and they're never seen again.
Yeah, we're just seeing these platforms like rising. Like they've been building these.
And like each time we see the mirage, it gets bigger and bigger.
yeah, oh yeah, we're seeing it
I would
grow.
definitely go over the shimmer, right?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that could go.
Their
over.
motives have changed.
Yeah.
Well, it's not
or I
necessarily.
guess-
They haven't changed.
I guess it's not what the Shimmer is doing differently.
It's what Icarus is. The
yeah,
people of
it's
Icarus
how they're
are doing.
reacting.
Yeah, I think that's.
So,
yeah, I
like-
think that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, you're up.
I now feel that my feelings have
Objective.
changed.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I've got one alive and I want to talk to it, but like at the same time, I gotta stop people from going over.
Look, we're gonna interrogate it.
I don't trust you.
no, we're gonna get some good info. We're gonna go in there.
Oh,
we're
and
gonna
now
talk
I
at
even
them.
trust it less.
It's gonna be. They're gonna tell us what's up, and we're gonna fix it. That's what we do. We fix the problems that arise and nothing more, because that is the law.
That's a very nice pistol you got there.
Thank you. I found it.
I'm gonna. Here, this is a problem.
Yeah, that is a problem.
This is a big problem.
Okay.
It's a real big problem.
I'm gonna hand you this.
The final hours. With many of the city's dwindling resources still going to the continuous building of the tower, a plot emerges to sabotage its construction. What is the plan and what group is leading it? Well, I feel like Prescott definitely is probably leading it.
Yeah.
Or
But he doesn't know to
Mm-mm.
go there yet.
Well-
what if it's the remaining cacti?
So this is a point in our game where we can spin the narrative the way that we want. So if it's more interesting if he knows,
I think it is more interesting that he figures it out, because if he figures it out, then he's actively trying to like get the prospectors to take the tower down. Because you've sort of become the de facto leader of the prospectors at this point.
So,
Well, I don't want to brag.
I think it makes sense that independent of what's going on there, your objective isn't to make the Shimmer succeed. It's to sabotage the town, right?
Yes.
And so any resources we might need, any help we would call in, we would have to use the radio tower because we're cut off otherwise. So this is just an independent thing.
Yeah.
You're jumping to the destination that I didn't know I needed to get to.
Yeah.
And you're just heading me off at the pass, which is a bummer, but it's a good story.
Yeah.
So Josephine is.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Especially because I've seen them and I've seen that, and I'm sort of.
What if you're using propaganda to like make people mistrust the tower? Because you don't want to get your hands dirty.
Yeah. Read the card again.
It's there's a plot emerges to sabotage its construction. What is the plan and what group is leading it?
So, I think that I'm not aware that the Shimmer want to use this.
Right. Yeah. You just think it's a resource that we have that could...
Right. So what I'm seeing is this being sped up because we need to call for outside help.
Mm-hmm.
And so, so I think that there's like a sort of rumbling in the underground that the tower is going to be used to... I think it's propaganda. It's the tower is going to be used to... what would it be to do something to the people of Icarus that is bad, right? Like what would it be? How would it oppress them? How would it oppress the people of Icarus if this thing gets built? Like what is the thing?
It would be used to call cactus to essentially take over the city.
But it was being built before the cacti
was.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what if there's a rumor going around that the radio tower was actually being built to essentially I had something and I was just totally gone. It's interesting.
Yeah, there's something there that like because my initial thing was like, oh, I wouldn't want to sabotage it because my whole thing is that I want the Shimmer to be able to take over. But I don't know that.
Right.
So I think that maybe it's just that it's the next link to the outside, and if I can keep the place isolationist, that the Shimmer will be able to wait out this thing, and I'm a cacti, so I can wait it out too. I don't need the water, or I can like. I don't know. Does anybody else have an idea? Anything they want to add?
I like that. So it's Josephine.
So I'm using
the government to.
I'm using my connections in the underground.
Yeah.
To.
I mean, there might even still be some angry cacti around who are just pissed. It's like we moved in here and you didn't defend us. You didn't do anything, and it's just their way of revolting, their revenge.
Yeah. Yeah, I think maybe I'm spurring the cacti that are left here to take that thing down because it's the. Oh, you know what? I'm claiming to them that the radio tower that's being built is why the electricity hit our city.
Ooh.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's the lightning rod.
It's why the static came.
It's why the static came.
So I said Josephine using underground to halt production of tower.
Yep.
Here. I feel
like that's over
there, yeah.
Great. Well, thank you. All right.
What do you care about?
I'm going to put on interrogating the Shimmer.
Oh my god.
So much going on.
So, I want to get rich. And so I'm going to convince the Shimmer that I can bring people to Icarus through my beans if they let me live. And I can bring them bodies so that they can convert people. As long as they let me bring them and make money off my beans at the very first stage, they can have them later.
Like that you get you get a cut for every person you bring into town, essentially.
Basically, like I'm able to sell them my beans. They come here for my beans.
They stay for the conversion.
And then they get converted.
Yeah.
Ew.
God damn it.
And by the end,
So gross.
by the end of it, I'll be super rich. The last guy alive was an
Super
unlimited
Stepford
amount of
Wives.
beans.
Full on, like
Living in
Nicole
Bean
Kidman
World.
Stepford Wives.
Mm-hmm.
The physical land Icarus sits on has begun to erode or change beneath it, leaving parts of the city inaccessible to one another. What important area is now completely isolated, and what ramification does that have on the rest of the city? I think the tower is isolated.
Oh, interesting.
Ooh. The static clings to the tower.
Oh, what if it's just like...
The energy that it's giving off is too much for the ground around it.
Yeah. I'm even, those plasma balls that you put your hand on?
Yeah.
I'm imagining that at the tower.
Yeah.
It's like literally just
It's
electrocuting
like a
people.
Tesla coil.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Is that cool?
Hard yes.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
I'm gonna use
Yeah,
this one.
totally.
Cool.
So the tower is now
I
isolated,
just looked down at the tower and got really stressed.
and the ramification it has on the rest of the city.
What if it's the shimmer that's kind of making it become unstable a little bit with
Yeah.
the power? And if someone gets too close to it, they get zapped and immediately converted.
Yeah, so maybe I'm like trying to convince the cacti to go and do this, and when they do, they touch it and burst. And
Oh my
and
gosh,
so
yeah.
I'm having this sort of like crisis where I'm the one that told them to go. And now we're seeing that the cacti that go over there are being destroyed. And so now there's a bunch of spines all around
It's just so stressful.
So there's spines around it, and if you still get too
And
close,
yeah.
you have a risk of being converted.
Oh my goodness.
wild. Okay.
So now you get to start rolling.
We're done with that. I have to add a die.
I'm
This
so
might be
sad
the
for our
end.
pretend people.
I know.
Okay, here we go.
What started as a bean joke has now made me very stressed.
I don't want to look.
As close
I
to
wanna look
us
at
as you
Elmo
can get
so
it.
much.
Ah!
It's like you've played before.
That was a very
How's that look?
That's a very Indiana Jones.
I mean, he didn't go with the same
Yeah.
It's
scheme
better.
as us, but
It's
whatever.
better.
Okay.
it is better. It's going up.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
It is very funny that like it's like all of them you can see the tower and then like, the top one you can't.
Imagine if we all three fail this roll.
I am imagining. Welcome to my personal hell.
It's very likely.
Okay, so let's all grab a die.
Are we all doing it at the same
We're all
time?
doing it
Yeah.
at the same time when you share the roll. Because if any of us succeed, then our task succeeds. So let's go through and
You
talk
guys are
about
kind
what
of opposing
success
each other though.
is. Well, we all want to interrogate this person and
Yeah.
get information out
I'm
of
more
them.
like bargaining with them. I'm not really interrogating
Okay,
them.
so-
I'm going to them as like a,
So I think
I'll
you're-
help you if you help me.
So I think
Scratch
yours
my
might
back,
be
I'll scratch yours.
separate.
Yeah.
I think yours might be a separate roll.
Okay, I'll have a separate.
Okay.
Oh.
My objective is to learn what they're using the tower for so that I can try to convert it. I don't necessarily like why are you so close to the tower? Why are you so focused on the tower? There's a town full of people. What's that about? So I
Yeah.
want to learn that they're using that to project themselves away so that I could potentially sabotage their goals.
Great.
That's
Great.
my objective.
And I want to learn who their leader is under the guise of
Helping the city.
helping the city. Okay, you and I are going to roll together. Ready?
You both make me so stressed
I
out.
don't like that I'm rolling alone now.
Here we go.
Welcome to my life.
Nope.
Oh.
Success! Okay.
So you both get to interrogate.
We succeed.
Yeah, you succeed.
We succeed.
But it definitely leans more towards like
Yeah, so the way that it works is that if any of the die succeed,
Yeah.
then we succeed. But this still has to be added to the tower. That's the downside. So, we find out information. You find out the purpose of
So we find out that the tower is what they want.
yes, and they want the tower. The name of the
Stop
person who's leading the shimmer. Their name is Oberon.
Ooh.
Where have I heard that name before?
Tatiana
Martell?
and Oberon. It's Fae.
Yeah.
Fae.
Yep.
Summer Court.
Yeah.
D&D
Oberon.
/ Midsummer Night Dream.
Yeah, Midsummer Night's Dream. That's one of my brain
I
used to.
ran
Game of Thrones.
Two of Annihilation, and
Oh,
that's
okay.
Oberon comes up in that.
Oberon.
I made an entire backstory built in the
is
Feywild, so-
leading Shimmer.
Wish I was wearing my glasses.
And then your thing was, and they want to use the tower
to basically catapult themselves across the country.
That's
and want
terrifying.
to use the tower.
They're like Mike TV.
Yes. Yes, they are. And suddenly, I'm less worried.
They want to use the
Still
tower
worried.
for
because we have to put another die on.
what is that called?
We don't. He does.
I do.
Transmitting themselves.
Teleporting?
Teleporting. That's the word.
Teleportation.
Imagine if it is just like Mike TV, where they like transmit themselves, but they're like this.
They're like
small.
little, yeah.
Oh my god, I'm here for it. I'm okay with it.
And they think that they've like done something great, and then they all show up and they're like
They're
little
like,
tiny.
Oh no!
Little baby shimmers.
I'd say we
Yeah.
could probably put this over Capture the Live.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Great. Now I have to add this die. Whew.
You got this.
I believe in you.
Okay. I don't believe in me.
You sort of evened it out.
You crushed it last time.
Yeah,
And
but
this time is going to be like last time. It's so good.
I believe in you.
So much.
Oh, that was like
that was
flawless.
amazing.
Wow.
Talk about like just straight baller status.
I've played this game too many times.
I'm nervous.
Confidence
now.
is key.
Confidence is key. It is. As you can tell, I'm very
You just
confident
have to
right
like
now.
let go.
Yeah,
you
you
just-
do. You just have to.
I'm like fully
Titanic,
gonna
yeah.
if I have to, I'm fully gonna like just get up and like go from like the
Yeah,
straight
you're
line.
more than
Do what you
welcome
gotta
to.
do.
Because like I feel like I'm getting a very like because I know the problem is this way and
Yeah.
I'm seeing it from this
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
So, I'm
So
like,
if you go from here.
I know where the problem is and I just like okay, so success
Yes.
looks like me stopping the conversions, like getting people far enough away from the shimmers that like
Oh, interesting.
or like finding a cure just randomly. Like it definitely not because he made it, but like figuring out how to like
It's beans.
yeah, figuring out how like people are to
If you're
unconvert
covered in
people.
beans, you can't be converted.
Yeah.
I start selling bean lotion,
Yeah.
bean body wash.
Like figures out like how the conversion is happening to be able to stop it.
Yeah. I wonder if there's like some sort of shield, like
Yeah.
Bean bomb.
something.
Bean bomb.
Is that BALM or
Yes.
BOMB?
Bean bomb.
BALM.
Well, we don't need to weaponize it yet.
So finding a reason, like confronting a shimmer, figuring out how to like how it's working. Especially, it'd be funny if it wasn't beans, considering I don't eat them.
Yeah. Keeping people from. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe the beans make.
Yeah.
So,
what if the sheriff gets converted?
I mean, your
That would
motive
be
is to
pretty-
protect the leaders
yeah.
if they're not taking over.
If they're my
Well, if she
they're
gets
the leader.
converted, then she has to protect the Shimmer's leader.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think he gets converted.
Okay.
It's not good. I did a bad thing to myself.
Yeah, you're the one who said that.
It narratively makes
Yes.
the most
Oh, yeah.
sense.
You go, and then
But
they're
their
like,
arc is so good. I like that.
uh-huh.
The town has no sheriff anymore.
No.
Now, are Shimmer like female, male, non-binary? What are they?
I would
We
assume
haven't,
like
like-
no gender.
I feel like they'd be non-binary.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
Living that
no
comfortable day.
non-gender, but definitely binary.
They're definitely binary.
So the town
Thanks so much for joining.
the town becomes lawless
Yeah.
to get us back on track.
Oh, it's the real Wild West.
Now we're the wheel. I can't speak. Now we're in the wheel Wild West.
The real Wild
The
West.
Baba Walto's Wild West.
So I'm gonna put this right here.
Yes, that seems about right. And now you're gonna add that die.
I'm going to scooch in and not touch the table. That's what I'm going to do.
I'm gonna.
Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing because we're real good this way. It's like
Oh God.
I hate this.
What have we done?
Oh, do you see my hands shaking?
Just let go. Remember, just let go.
Just let go.
It's just like there's no good way to do this.
Woo! That was pretty good.
It's like hanging on by halfway.
It's great though, because it's like right on top of the top three. I'm okay with that. I'm okay,
Okay.
with that.
Okay.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay
I have to
with
roll mine.
that. So good! And then I suddenly felt sick again.
All right.
So I'm
let's successive.
I'm
like,
now
for
going
you.
to Oberon and being like, "Hey, bud,
Yeah.
look, they've turned their back on me and my beans, so I'm gonna turn. Me and my beans are turning their back on them, and I'm gonna basically just be like, work with us here.
Yeah, try and strike that deal.
2 of the main character.
So that can happen, but how does it make the situation worse? How does it escalate the situation?
I open up the town railroad again, and I start funneling people into the town. Yeah.
Yep. You're a monster. You're a monster.
Here's the
Yeah. The
Just don't
aspect
throw
of
you
it.
dirty
Oh, I'm so
rotten
scared.
fiend.
I'm gonna throw up.
And you're first player next time, so.
Hell yeah.
Which means you have to add
Let's
a die
get it.
immediately.
Yeah. I'm not worried.
I'm so worried.
I'm not. No, we're gonna be.
I
Good.
love that we started this with being like, yeah, like I know I'm gonna fail and it's gonna be okay. And you were, I'm afeared, and now you're, I'm unafeared, and I am afeared.
I've been afeared the entire time.
Dice.
I
find a
am
way.
much fear.
Dice find a way.
Listen, that's the truest thing I've ever heard.
I mean, this would be a great narrative place for this.
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
No,
I mean-
we
Wait, hold
gotta
on.
keep going. We gotta keep going. I'm so proud of us, and like I
I'm gonna
want us to
slow mo it.
keep going.
Oh no, my hands are shaking.
Isn't it the worst? No! I'm so sad.
It was a good.
Good
It was
game,
a good
good
game.
Okay,
Okay.
so once the tower falls, we have 3 questions that we ask to end the game. The first one is, what caused the tower to collapse? And because you were the one who placed the die, we will look to you for that narration.
So, Bonzo, whatever you want to call him, he's
Garbage?
going by Credence now. His real name. Credence Flare basically gave up on the town after realizing like no one trusts his beans. Like his whole life had kind of like been turned around, and he sided with the Shimmer, and he invited the droves of the town to come, and he was like, the railroad's open, you can cross the ravine now, there's a new town over there, come to us and like stop in, get some beans, and then go on your way. And they'd come into town and immediately get converted. And at the time that happened, it just was like a tidal wave, and the Shimmer just kind of like took over. Icarus fell.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate it.
But I got rich.
I mean, I in fact did protect the leaders.
Yeah.
So, was the question specifically how does the tower fall?
Yeah, so the tower itself actually
The
falls.
radio
tower
tower
falls.
So, I think the tower falls from decay after
like
long after the
years.
town dries up, after
Yeah.
all of the Shimmer use it to get all across the country.
Yeah.
Just after they've taken over everything,
And
they
no
don't
one
come back.
No one can get to it to repair it because it still has all the cacti
Right,
spikes.
right.
And it's still shooting off like Tesla coils.
So like every time the cacti are popping back up, it's just like whack-a-mole.
Yeah.
So like once they used it, they don't need to continue using it because they're already across
Spread.
the country and across
Exactly.
the world.
And so the whole thing,
So the tower's just a ruin.
yeah. It just, we see it like just, the electricity maybe stops around it, and the whole thing just like
crumbles.
falls in on itself.
And then the cacti rise.
Rise of the Cacti, the sequel.
my God.
Then we talk about the fate of each of our characters in the aftermath. You sort of already went into the fate of your character.
Yeah, I think
but
he
anything
does
else you
get
wanna
rich and he lives the rest of his life with beans.
Yeah.
But he starts to realize, like, a couple of years down the road, like, he found joy in spreading his beans to the world.
Hmm.
And
Now
he
no one
gave up
eats.
on them. And now no one eats, and he's the only one that can enjoy his beans anymore. And that's why he stopped going by Dr. Bonzo Bean Esquire. And now he's just Credence Flare.
He was a lawyer as well.
He was the town doctor and lawyer and dentist. And bean
Beanist.
farmer. Beanist.
He's the world's leading beanist.
Yeah.
It's a bean-based piano.
Just
The pianist.
beans.
All the keys are beans.
All the
And
keys are beans.
What's that song? It's in the key of bean. Josephine Atlas, I think that she...
How did she die? She got beamed to death.
No, I think that she ended up converting, and I think that that's what sort of like led to. I think as Icarus started to fall, she saw the downfall as vengeance for her father being taken. I think back then farming was not a thing that was as revered as it is now, and I think that her becoming part of the Shimmer was sort of like she had to take a side, and these were the people that were doing it, and so she did. But when she was sort of made into that digital person, she was uploaded to this digital world. She finally got to Oberon. I think she finally made it to like speak to Oberon, which is the person she was trying to get to the whole time, and it is the digital form of her father.
Whoa.
And so now she's with him.
Wow.
Wow.
So like they captured her dad and then
And he
sent
escaped and
him
went
across the.
I think he escaped and went across the river and
Got converted.
I was thinking he'd be like the guinea pig, like send him across, see if he can make it.
And he made it.
And he never came back. And they're like,
he was a prospector.
yeah, they're like,
That's
wow,
what it was.
lost.
He was a prospector, and
Yeah.
he
He
got
was
lost.
the first prospector.
He was the first prospector.
Wow.
I love it. I love it.
And his last name is Atlas.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
You
You can't write that.
can't write that.
The show is not scripted.
Prescott Beanstalk, no longer a big beefy bean boy.
Aww.
Instead,
She's a small beefy.
a digital transcription of what one might imagine a bean boy could be in beefy digital terms.
Now, does your digital self still have bean teeth? Or do you have like...
Or
Ain't no better way to live.
Or would he not have allowed himself to be like, or would he have rather died than been converted because he couldn't eat beans anymore?
I think the problem wasn't necessarily the eating of the beans, but his objective was to maintain the city so that the people there could continue to live. And as the people became converted and were still there and around,
Right.
my duty was to not just the structures of the city, but the people of the city. So I followed where they went and was just flabbergasted at the technology and the advancements that they had made. And that got my little tinker brain a turning. And I got all sorts of excited. I boosted that power on that radio station so far, we got all the way across the continent, onto a different continent, across the seas, figured out that sea mess. You know, they couldn't cross the water. I fixed that.
Oh, what did he
You
become
just had
like
to
the
use
lead
air.
inventor?
I just had to use, just a little bit of air. Also, now we have some submerged, because there are some electrical signals you can manipulate in whales. So I'm a whale now. I'm a big, tinkering, smart whale.
all right.
You know why?
Why?
'Cause maybe there's some submarine beans down there for me to find. And I can eat a lot with my whale mouth.
They're just like really big whale bean teeth.
Yes! Yep!
Krill are the beans of the ocean.
I was literally trying to remember what they were called
Yeah.
so I could say maybe
When
that same
Bonzo
joke.
goes to die, he like goes out to the water and he's just like reflecting on his life. And then a big bean tooth whale comes out. And he's like, oh my god, this is so beautiful. And he just dies right there. In the mouth of the whale.
Jonah.
Oh my god.
What about you?
I think as Hazel got converted, he realized like it was kind of a dream come true because like all he was trying to do was to protect the people, and like personally once he realized he didn't have to eat beans anymore, he was real happy because like that was just awful. But like he was so worried about the people and everything like that, and like when he couldn't realize like he couldn't protect them anymore and he got converted, he was like, well, I guess now I have like a new people to protect. And then he saw like you become converted as well, and like devoted himself to like protecting the people that he knew and could protect, like not realizing you were like key in destroying everything.
Destruction, yeah.
Especially when he realized that like your father was someone in power, so then he became like essentially like the Shimmer like bodyguard of like the higher echelon of like the leaders and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and, like,
of Oberon.
and just ended up like following kind of keeping the same passion, but like just making sure to keep people safe, and like became one of the like key people in converting people.
Yeah. The evangelist. That's great. The last question we have is what becomes of Icarus in the 100 years after its destruction? What do we see happening here?
I think it becomes overgrown with just like being left alone. It's just dust rolls through and everything. But
Credence still lives there.
So Credence lives there until the end of his natural life.
Yeah.
And then jumps off a cliff into a whale's mouth. And then I think as it gets overgrown, we see like cacti budding.
Yeah.
And then as those develop more maturely, we see the full cacti people sort of return to prominence.
Right.
And end up taking over the town that they had tried to get into in the first place. That's my thought.
And I like the idea that they don't like. It's sort of like reincarnation, where they don't have like memories of their past life, so they just become anew and just like.
And I would think that they'd be protected from the Shimmer. It would have been like Credence is saying like, leave Icarus alone.
Mm-hmm.
You can have the people, but not the town.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But like in the digital history books, it's like Icarus is the Holy Land.
Yeah.
Because it is where everything was made possible. Yeah.
They have a monument.
Well, I was thinking at the very end, we're seeing like this overgrown city with all of like the cacti that are coming to life again, pulling out of the ground and walking upon the earth. And
see a small bean.
Yeah, and we just see a small like bean sprout pop up. And that is our game of Icarus. Hey! We brought down a civilization, and we ate some beans. Well, now we need to have beans. We should have had beans here the whole time.
Some of us ate some beans.
You never ate any beans.
No.
Oh, man. Well, great work, you guys. Thank you so much for coming to play.
I love this game so much.
These like melancholy thoughts about Credence in his older life now.
Oh. Just gotta write his epilogue.
Like Oberon keeps coming to him on like his little farm, and he's like, "Hey, I just want to know if you reconsidered like converting.
Yeah.
Like you can live a long life with the people you know." And he's like, "No, I want my beans."
It's so good. It's so tragic. All he wants is
I never knew beans could break my heart.
I know. Heartbreaker beans.
They are good for your heart.
They are good for your heart. It's true.
Every time I play a game of this, like I always walk away being like, okay, now like, where's the actual story of this?
Yeah. Like where do we take this?
Well, we obviously have to do this setting in D&D now, and Dread, and Kids on Bikes, and all of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
More Kids on Bikes, so I'm so down.
Great. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Let's go around and do our handles, so you can find us on social media if you'd like. Let's start this way.
Okay, cool. You can find me on pretty much any of the social medias as Kenzie Jennings, but it's Kenzy, and then my last name, which is right there, super conveniently. It's super easy to find me. That's all my socials.
I am Trevor Adams. Thank you for hanging out and watching and hopefully laughing with us about beans.
Validate me with laughter.
You can find me on Twitter at HOWIETT. It's Howlett, but with a capital I because I'm a child. I also host a D&D podcast, Plunders and Blunders. You can find us at Plunder Blunders on Twitter and wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm Spencer Stark. You can find me on Twitter at Spencer Stark. You can find Icarus in game stores now, and you can also, if it's out of stock on the Renegade site right now, but you can always order it on drive-thru. It comes with the book and the cards. And then we should be getting a new shipment in any day now. So if you want the box set, there should be a new shipment headed out anytime. So go check that out.
And I'm Mika. You can find me on most socials as RIP Mika now, but my Instagram is still VSirenMika. It will be changed soon. I'm talking to them. I play a lot of D&D, and I have a weekly show called Kolak 1991 that I do. Kids on Bikes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Another fantastic system.
Yeah, another fantastic system. Awesome. Well, thanks guys so much, and we'll see you soon. Goodbye.
Goodbye.